What do I got? Kekos. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, Team 10, Team 10, Team 10s. Yeah, there's where the dollars are. Team 10s, Team 10s. Hey, all right. Thank you, guys. Road Kings, Road Kings, Road Kings. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Road Kings. Road Kings.
Hey, Gabe, I've got $40 right here from our friend Hayden Hester.
Wow.
Donating $40 of cold, hard cash that we're going to put in that.
I got a few $100.
We are looking good.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Arlie Kemmer dumping a little cash
Big
in
spin from Kemmerer Law here today.
That's it. All right, we're going to ring the bell, Gabe. We've got another preem, $75 coming up from our friends at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, throwing down some cash for these riders. Attention riders, $75 preem, $75, $75 preem, courtesy of Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. $75 to the winner of the lap, Kim Stoveld, going on the move, representing her automatic, presented by Abus team. Just as we saw the Miami Blazer rider, Alexi Ramirez, signaling that she had to make her way into the pit.
Yeah, Ramirez in the pit down here, getting her bike tuned by her own team mechanics. We do offer neutral support here at the Tour of Somerville, but Alexi is getting some service over here, saying she got a flat tire on the backside. When the Bill, talk to us a little bit about when the roads are wet and slick. What happens? Is it easier for tires to get flat? We're gonna come on back to the finish line. I got a great amount of dollars here, courtesy of our community chip in here. We're going to start to count some of our dollars and divvy it up for our pro women. Thank you, Herman, for your support. Hi, guys. I don't want to do one thing. Like break it up. I don't get it though. I'll never understand it. Every year I say that. Every year. Like a pro can't be. Yeah, but then I don't understand how we do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think kind of sadly so, right? Sad state of affairs.
I mean, it's always sort of been, there's always been some person.
Yeah, of course. 15 to go on our lap board, Somerville. These are the top professional women in the country. Make sure you're making a little noise every time they come through. Down to the wire, taking that one. That is going to be Skylar Schneider from the Miami Blazers, knocking off $75. So Skylar Schneider opening the account for the Miami Blazer squad out here today. Just getting around the tall Abus automatic rider, Kim Stoveld. Stoveld, of course, widely known as a breakaway rider. Very, very strong rider coming out of the Mid-Atlantic area, out of the greater Philadelphia area. And I'll tell you what, we've been watching her over the last couple of years, and if she's on the podium, you know it's come by way of a breakaway. She's relatively new to the sport, having made the transition over from the triathlon world, but Well, the triathlon world seems to have suited her very well and toned her skills nicely for her jump into the world of bike racing. So right now we've got a nice little battle on the front from the Miami Blazers, the automatic Abus squad. And of course, LA Sweat in the mix as well. A couple riders from the Skyline Pro Cycling team. Last year's winner, Jess Chong, right in the thick of the mix. And Dr. Colleen Gulick up in the mix as well. Colleen's been on the podium here before at Somerville. She's never won the race. I know she would love to add this one to her resume. Colleen, of course, recently named to the Olympic long team for the team pursuit on the track. So she's got her fingers crossed that she gets the final nod to get on the plane to Paris later on this summer. But before that, well, it's all about the Tour of Somerville, and Gulick would love to try and add her name to the long list of champions. Let's not forget five-time winner and perennial favorite, Laura Van Gilder out of Cresco, Pennsylvania. Laura, you know, while I don't divulge her age, let's just say a lot of the other riders in the field could be her daughter out there, and she's still in contention for win number 6.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
You guys, I'd like to thank Somerville community so much for all of your great support. Sue here is going to be divvying up some preems. We're going to be adding preems into our pro women's race here, including hopefully a very nice sort of final preem. So thank you guys very much. I'll be back around during the men's race as well in addition, but we are going to take some of what we received from you guys and put it in. Here's our lead field. Mariana Valadas for LA Sweat on the front right now. Doing a nice job setting that pace for LA Sweat. This is a program that very much could win between Ariel Coy or Valadas at the end. They have a number of great workers in this field overall, so we're looking forward to seeing how that program shakes out.
I don't really want to go through another pair of pants, but wet pants is really.
My radio's just not working. It just keeps going to that blue thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard a single thing crack over this one.
Yeah, and I feel like
We're now down to 14 laps to go in our professional women's race. 24 minutes has ticked by on the clock. Field still all together. You can see they were spread out a little bit across the road. Everyone kind of sizing each other up. All these teams, you know, they come into this race, they have their team meeting maybe 45 minutes, an hour before the start, and they kind of suss out their tactical approach to the day. You know, every team has someone who's maybe a little bit better in the sprint, and generally that's who they kind of rely on here on the streets of Somerville. So based on that, they try and work up some sort of tactical approach to the race. So every rider ends up coming to the line with a relatively specific role to play for their team. You know, obviously not everybody can win the bike race, so some riders given the task of chasing down preems or maybe just kind of setting the tempo, trying to instigate a lot of breakaways and force some of the other riders to do a lot of chasing out there and give their sprinters as easy of a ride as they can into the finale. So we'll see right now. We're still kind of early in the race, so hard to tell so far what the tactical approach is for some of these riders.
So our riders are being pulled out. Some of our even national champions being removed from this race, just proving just how difficult this is. Here we have our pace car coming through, looking at 13 laps to go. Preem on the next lap, preem on the next lap, $75 preem on the next lap, $75 preem on the next lap, $75 preem on the next lap.
It's like this endless sea of sponsorship dollars that we're throwing out to all these riders. A great opportunity to make a little extra pocket change out here today in Somerville. Well, once again, I want to thank all of our sponsors for being so generous. And, of course, the crowd. Gabe, you made we're counting the money right now, but I'm confident we've got several $100s up here.
Yeah, you guys have done such a great job. Really excited to see what we end up with here. Remember, we're going to do a portion of that into the pro women, and then another portion into our pro men. Big thanks to some of our notable contributors. We had a DNA Pro Cycling, G5 Performance Gels also contributing nicely. And of course our VIP tent with all of our generous sponsors here for the Tour of Somerville, from Unity Bank and RWJ Barnabas Health, Wolfgang Steakhouse providing all of the amenities for today. And big thanks to the Somerset County Business Partnership and Visit Somerset County for making our VIP hospitality tent possible this year. We're really looking forward to expanding upon it next year for our 80th year. We're inviting back all of the former winners of both the professional men and women's race. So if you know of a former winner, please invite them back next year. We're going to put them in the VIP tent with everybody. We're going to do a little ceremony next year for our 80th anniversary to recognize all of our former winners for the pro men and pro women. Here comes our defender from Land Rover, Princeton. Here they come. $75 going to be awarded to the winner of this lap. $75 for the winner of this lap. Who's it going to be? $75. And it looks like your U.S. National Champion, Corinne Lebecki, taking home $75 at the start-finish line. And she is driving that pace, looking around, seeing what damage she is doing. She certainly is doing some damage, including dropping Canadian National Champion Holly Simonson.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are single file right now, and you know it is full gas when Corinne Lebecki is on the front. That field absolutely strung out front to back under the pressure of the reigning U.S. professional criterium champion out there. I'm sure Lebecki wants to do her best to play it safe out here, and the best way to do that is to be at the front. Maybe put in a little dig and try and cause a little bit of separation, drag a couple of willing breakaway partners up with her and reduce the numbers in the group. Obviously, that reduces some of the risk in the group as well. So Lebecki very astutely riding the front of the race right now and trying to split things up just a little bit as they saw 12 laps to go that time through. Could see Colleen Gulick, one of the riders from the Skyline Pro Cycling team, down in the drops, mouth open. And we just talked about her potential opportunity to go to the Olympics in Paris. And you see a rider like her under this kind of pressure right now from the National Professional Criterium Champion out on the course. That is a very strong indicator that they are going about as fast as they can maintain right now. If that pace keeps up for the next 2 or 3 laps, I would expect to see some splits develop into that group and maybe a selective breakaway start to occur at the front. Some more riders getting the whistle from our USA Cycling officials, falling just a little bit behind the group, but once again, we thank them for coming out. It's the beauty of bike racing. Sometimes it's just not your day. You get out there, you do your warm-up, you go through your whole pre-race ritual, and, well, sometimes the legs are just not cooperative. The legs or the body, the head, maybe just not that motivated, not feeling as good as they should for the day. And, well, the upside is there's always next week to get out there.
12 laps to go here. 12 laps to go. 11 laps to go. 11 laps remaining here. Here's the front of our field. A little bit of a counter move here by Kim Stoveld. Kim Stoveld trying to push the pace here against LA Sweat Racing as they're really driving that pace. As we come around, Simonson trying to get herself back on terms here with this race, riding solo, just dangling about 3 or 4 seconds behind the field overall. Seeing if Simonson can get herself back on terms with what is happening in this race.
Well, I'll tell you what, Simonson going to have to hope for a little bit of a lull up there in the field, a little bit of a stalemate for her ability to get back on. She's done a good job staying very, very close that last lap, lingering off the back. And that's a rider, you know, we just kind of talked about the opportunity, the chance sometimes that you just don't have the best legs on the day. Simonson, a national champion out of Canada. So clearly a very high quality rider. Obviously on a little bit of a rough day out here today on the streets of Somerville. And you know, sometimes you go through these rough patches out in the race. You feel okay during warm-up. When you get into the race, the legs are not quite cooperating. Maybe you're having some equipment problems. Something's going on. You find yourself at the back of the group, but you try and persevere as long as you can, because you never know when the legs are going to turn around, the head's going to get a little more engaged in the race. You just need that opportunity. That's why these riders learn very early on in their racing career to continue to fight, to continue to try and stay in the mix as long as they possibly can, and just hope that their luck turns for the better. So Simonson at the back of the group, very much hoping that things are going to turn around a little bit in her favor so she can continue to represent the maple leaf that denotes her as your reigning Canadian National Criterium champion.
All right, we got Unity Bank stepping up here. We're going to be doing a $100 preem courtesy of Unity Bank for the winner of the next lap. $100 preem for the winner of the next lap. Big thanks to Unity Bank for their support here today. Oh, we got, all right, $100 preem, $100 preem, $100 preem for the winner of the next lap. Lebecki driving the pace. Looks like Yareli Salazar also up there. So $100 preem for the winner of the next lap.
Well, Corinne Lebecki driving the train once again, and if you're paying attention, about 12 riders back, a little bit of daylight starting to open up there, and that could be a rough end of the race for a lot of riders behind. We've seen a lot of breakaways today. Of course, these corners, they get a little more challenging in this weather. You get a smaller group. It's certainly advantageous, and Corinne Lebecki is going to drive that train. She wants to stay safe. She's got some big goals coming up this summer, but she wants to continue to represent that jersey, and she's going to be very happy if she can thin that group out a little bit. We saw LA Sweat in the mix. I think I saw 2 riders from the DNA program up in that mix as well. We are closing in on the single-digit lap cards here in our pro women's race. 35 minutes of racing done. We know that they're roughly about 2 minutes and 40-odd seconds per lap, so we're going to be right around that 1 hour mark or so for our professional women's event out here. Only the best of the best, I can assure you, will survive it to the finish. And sitting on the back of the field, another noteworthy rider, Laura Van Gilder, the 5-time winner here on the streets of Somerville. And she actually had a three-peat, I believe that was back in 2015, 16, and 17. She won 3 years in a row. I believe that may have been her last victory here as well. I'd have to check the record books on that, but Van Gilder, the 5-time winner here in this race, sitting as the last rider in that field, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to hide a little bit and trying to bide her time because she doesn't have any teammates. You know, we talk a lot about these bigger teams with options. Van Gilder here with 0 team assistance, so she's got to be very smart, very calculated in how she plays her cards.
Lebecki also with that too. So who's going to win the $100 preem from Unity Bank? $100 preem from Unity Bank to the winner of this lap. And it's going to be, I believe, Riley McMullen. Yeah, it is Riley McMullen, your former New Zealand national champion. Just last season, she was the criterium national champion from New Zealand. McMullen winning $100 back to DNA Pro Cycling, courtesy of Unity Bank. Now, we're not done with our preems, though, Bill. Thanks to all of the generosity of the town of Somerville. We have $500 more into our women's race.
Oh man, the big question now is how are we going to allocate that out to the riders?
We're going to build upon it. We're going to do a $200 at some point and then finish off with a big $300 preem before we get to the finale. This is a $10,000 race for our pro women. Winner taking home a few $1,000s for the win. So we'll see who's going to burn their legs for $300, potentially sacrificing their ride against the few $1,000s of taking the win.
It sounds like you might have in mind a bit of a gambler style preem, as you say that, with the $200 and then the $300 preem.
We're gonna see how this shakes out.
I like it. I like where your head's at. That gambler preem, one of my favorites, especially when I'm on this side of the fence. It's one of my favorites to see who's really going to take the risk to win the high dollar preem when the victory is just moments away. So we'll see how things shape up. Our lap counter now down officially into the single digits here in Somerville. Rain holding off here for just a little bit. Want to thank the crowd here for staying strong, staying vigilant with us out here in Somerville. A lot of other communities, when it starts to rain, they might run for cover and decide to go home, but not our friends here in Somerville. They stick around. They just get the umbrella out. They say, you know what? What's a little water falling from the sky? We're out here to support some of the finest bike racers in all of the U.S. So we can't thank you enough, Somerville, for sticking around with us this afternoon through that little bit of a rainstorm. We guarantee you're going to be happy you made that choice. Some great racing unfolding right here on the streets of Somerville. We've got our defender in sight. We've got our women's field now making their way up the home straight. We've got 8 on the cards, and it sounds like we're going to ring the bell for another preem.
$200 preem for the winner of the next lap. A $200 preem for the winner of the next lap. $200 preem for the winner of the next lap. $200, oh man. So what do you do in this situation, Bill? You gonna go for that money? You're gonna wait to see if you can become a historical winner?
I think we are just far enough away from the finish yet that riders could go for that preem, find the time to recover, reset, and play for the finale. You know, we're at 8 to go. They're going to sprint at 7 to go. That's still going to give them 16, 17, 18 minutes to kind of catch their breath, take a drink, maybe have a little more sugar, and be ready to go for the finale. When you get a little deeper than that, that's where it's really a challenging decision. But right now, I think any one of our main contenders could reach out, go for this preem, and still be confident to play for the finale.
Awesome. All right, let's see what we can do here. So we've got all riders still continuing on to see how far they can get, but we are looking at a very volatile lap here, and we'll see if we'll further thin the herd a little bit with this effort for our professional women. Are you guys having fun over here? Our weather is broken for us a little bit, and I think we're having a good time. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us here today in our VIP tent and around the course at the Tour of Somerville. Remember, thanks to RWJ Barnabas, you can tune in to 102.3 radio frequency and listen in on our commentary. And we also have audio speakers on the back straight thanks to RWJ Barnabas Health and the Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, Somerset. So thank you guys for your continued support and helping us enhance our Tour of Somerville. And big thanks to the Somerset County Business Partnership for making our VIP experience possible this year. Remember, we hope to build upon it for next year, our 80th anniversary. If you know a former winner of the Tour of Somerville, please invite them for next year so we can do an 80th celebration, get a photo with all of the past winners in one place. Who's going to take home $200, Bill?
Oh, here comes our field just coming into sight around the final turn. $200 of cold, hard cash, courtesy of all of you out here donating. That money is on the line. The field spread out across the road. They are not messing around, Gabe. Someone wants to line their pockets with money. Oh, it looks like it's going to be LA Sweat. Oh, we're going to have to go to the camera on that one. I couldn't quite see who nailed that one, but we're going to get you that info in just a moment. Looked to me like number 12, Skylar Schneider, grabbing that $200. So Skylar Schneider unofficially grabbing that nice little chunk of change put up by the crowd. Skylar, of course, riding for the Miami Blazers team out of West Allis, Wisconsin. So we've confirmed Skylar Schneider throwing $200 into the Miami Blazer account for the day. Well, Skylar, one of our top riders on the circuit, multi-time national champion, winner of just about every criterium around the country. She's another rider I'm sure would love to walk off with top honors here. I don't believe she's won this race here on the streets of Somerville before, so they've brought the hit squad from the Miami Blazers racing team. She's joined by her sister on the team as well. Also the Mexican champion, Julian Aguirre, on the team as well. So a lot of heavy hitters on that Miami team, a lot of options to play for the finale of the race, but Skylar Schneider just sneaking up alongside the LA Sweat crew, and with a LA Sweat crew with a bike throw on the line. Nailing down $200. And that's all courtesy of you fine folks. We walked around with a bucket, we lined it with cold hard cash, and now the riders are reaping the reward now. Well, not a lot of breakaway attempts so far in our race. Everything been kind of staying together. Corinne Lebecki made a couple digs about 5 or 6 laps ago. At one point, it looked like we might have had 6 or 8 riders going to slip off the front of the group, but came back relatively quickly. I think still a lot of firepower back in that field, and maybe a little bit of nervous energy. Riders just kind of trying to keep it together. A lot of sprinters in this field, a lot of riders feeling like they've got a very good opportunity to bring home the bacon here in Somerville. We've got 6 laps to go. Somerville, 6 to go for our women pro field. 6 laps to go. Last year's champion, Jess Chong, coming up to the front, sitting in second wheel in the neon green for Skyline Pro Cycling.
All right, we're going to see what we can do here. 6 laps to go for Skyline Pro Cycling. We're looking at one more preem, Sue? One more preem. All right, we're going to wait a little bit, see what we end up with. Bill, we might be on the internet. We don't know.
We might be on the air. Uh-oh, more people for me to offend. I love it. Yeah, we've got one more preem to ring another big preem, courtesy of our crowd. They've been giving us so much money. It's going to be our high dollar preem of the day for our women's pro field.
Yeah, $300 will be awarded thanks to the generosity of the town of Somerville, New Jersey. You guys are going, thank you so much for contributing. I'll be running around during the pro men's race as well to try and see if we can get them some amazing preems as well. So thank you again to all of our sponsors who have been part of making today possible, and all of your generosity throughout the day. We got ourselves so many cool things here, Bill.
Trying to find the best vantage point for our little footage here. Our riders should be coming into sight relatively soon. Our Princeton Land Rover lead vehicle, the Defender, has been turning out lap after lap today. Our lap board now down to 5 laps to go as we anticipate our riders coming into sight here. 46.5 minutes they've been out here on the streets of Somerville. They started underneath a little bit of rain. Things have kind of cleared up a little bit. Roads obviously still wet, probably going to stay wet for the remainder of the day, making things a little bit tricky, but I'm sure everyone happy that at least for the moment, the rain has stopped.
So we are looking for our defender from Land Rover Princeton. Here they come. Let's see what we can see here.
Apparently not that way. That's all right. Plan B, right? Just like the riders, you've got a plan B to get up on the stage.
Here comes our field. We're looking at 5 laps to go, ladies. Our field reduced down. We started with nearly 60 of the best women in the country. Defending champion Jessica Chong hanging out at the front of that field right now.
You know, we talked about it in Easton on Saturday night, Gabe, and there's always that moment in the bike race where the mentality shifts, right? From potential breakaways to, you know what, it's going to be a field sprint. Let's start to gather the troops. Let's start to work on the lead out and get things dialed in. Now that we're inside of 5 laps to go, the body language in the field tells me that mindset, that shift has finally occurred, and a lot of these riders are now starting to gear up for the field sprint.
All right, so let's see what happens with 5 laps to go. Riders really suffering out here. If you're outside of the main bunch, you are doing such a huge effort overall. I love seeing these team tents down here, man. They are so cool. Everybody hanging out with us in the lovely day in Somerville.
Lots of riders still with a lot of cards to play. LA Sweat still with a lot of riders left in the field. DNA Pro Cycling also with most of their riders in the group as well. Can't forget Automatic presented by Avis still with a number of riders that they can count on in the finale. Miami Blazers, obviously Skylar Schneider still in the mix, having won that $200 preem just a few laps ago. So a lot of different teams, a lot of different tactics, a lot of potential lead outs getting ready to unfold here on Main Street. There's still a little bit of time for the opportunists, as we call them, the riders that wait to that last minute, try and get away in the closing moments of the race. We'll see if anyone is going to try and fire that shot here as we see 4 to go on our lap board for our pro women. Somerville, now's the time to bring the party. It's cocktail hour in Somerville. We want you guys to make a little noise for our riders. 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 laps to go, and it's all DNA Pro Cycling.
DNA Pro Cycling on the front here with 4 laps to go as they come through, and who is going to try and challenge them? It looks like Skylar Schneider out there for Miami Blazers, but also looking for where Corinne Lebecki is hiding. Corinne Lebecki, one of the world's most savviest racers, and of course our reigning U.S. national champion. So we're going to try to see where she is and how this is going to play out for the finale of the 79th running of the Tour of Somerville presented by Unity Bank. We're going to be racing for just about an hour here in Somerville.
I want to remind everyone we still got some merchandise for sale. Our Tour of Somerville merchandise tent. They are up just behind the finish line at the corner of Union and Main, right next to Wolfgang's Steakhouse. And we don't want to have to see them pack up the vehicle with all the leftovers that you didn't buy. So whip out your wallets one more time. Bring your hard-earned cash. Bring your credit card over to the Tour of Somerville merchandise tent and get yourself something a little nice to remember the weekend by.
All right, we will see. We got one more prize coming up for the intermediate sprints, and then the grand finale of them all, the final sprint. Who's going to be joining the history books? Lebecky. Look, Lebecky's also an Olympian, by the way. She's got so many accolades, we sort of forget them. She has raced in the Olympics. Yeah, we got a preem coming up, courtesy of you guys. This is going to be our second crowd preem. We did a $200 crowd preem, thanks to you all, a few laps ago. This next one coming up, we're going to do $300 into our pro women's field the next time around. Thanks to all of you here in Somerville for the 79th running of America's longest running bike race. We're looking to see where our field is coming in. There they are. We have our defender from Land Rover Princeton coming out of the turn. Looks like DNA still on the front, trying to keep this pace high, trying to push the pace here for our pro women's race.
All right, our field coming into sight. Somerville, we're going to ring the bell for one more final preem. Thanks to you, we've got $300, $300. Cold, hard cash to the winner of the next lap.
$300 for the winner of the next lap. $300 preem for the winner of the next lap with just 3 laps remaining. Bill, I saw Reagan Padishall moving up on the outside of this race. Maybe she's just been hanging out. This could be an interesting opportunity. She raced the 3-4-5 race earlier, placed second, I believe. She's I think the only Cat 3 left in the race at this point. So maybe this is a good breakout opportunity for the young rider from the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, just 2 years ago, Padishall did the pro women's race for the very first time after, I believe, winning the junior women's event. She only lasted a couple laps with the pro women. Now, 3 laps to go, 2 years later, she's right in the hunt for a potential podium spot.
She's going to be part of the sprint, but this dynamic in the end will be a little different for her, right? They're going to have the best of the best starting to wind it up. And as we've seen in the past, not only just this weekend, but also last week in Charleston, West Virginia at the U.S. National Championships, we saw how ferocious of a sprint riders like Lebecky and Magner and Skylar Schneider can be. Let's talk about a little bit about Alexis Magner. Raced in the World Tour for a few years for Canyon SRAM, and now she is racing on Legion of Los Angeles, generally with her sister Kendall. Kendall falling ill after racing in the rain in Charleston, West Virginia, so she could not make it today. So Magner here by herself. 2 nights ago she raced down in Winston-Salem and secured the USA Crits overall. Now tonight she's here to try to put herself in the history books. What's your odds-on favorite between Magner and the rest of this field?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I have to put my money on the rider that's on the definitive hot streak the past couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, doubling down for the U.S. Pro Criterium title. Just a couple nights ago, winning the Easton Twilight Criterium, none other than Corinne Lebecky. I think Lebecky's came here to win. She's been on the podium before, but she has never won this race, and I think this is going to be her year as we see 2 to go on the board. 2 laps to go. LA Sweat on the move. 2 laps to go. 2 to go. 2 laps to go for our field.
Emily Flynn taking that $300 crowd preem. Emily Flynn taking that $300 crowd crowd preem. Thank you, all of you here in Somerville today, for supporting our professional women's race with your generous donations to our crowd preem spot. Emily Flynn of Canada racing for LA Sweat, securing $300 thanks to you guys. We're now looking at 2 laps to go. This is critical. Now we're going to start to see the teams organizing. We saw the blue helmets of Legion of Los Angeles start to come to the front, potentially for Magner. Leading out Alexis Magner is Olympian Yareli Salazar of Mexico. Salazar could very well be one to watch. She's just so good at escorting Magner around, and usually her sister Kendall Ryan. So I wonder if Magner's feeling good. She's having Yareli go to the front now with 2 to go.
Yeah, just a few laps ago, we saw DNA Pro Cycling get into formation a little bit early on a course so long as Somerville, roughly 2 kilometers per lap. They were on the front with about 4 or 5 laps to go. Traditionally, that's not a bad time in your average criterium to get on the front, try and control the pace. Here at Somerville, the wide open, flat, fast nature, it is very, very challenging to make a run from that far out. But I expect DNA going to try and rally, try and get back into formation. Holly Breck riding very, very well this year. I suspect she may be their protected rider.
You also have Miami Blazers with Skylar Schneider and Sam Schneider. Samantha Schneider has won nearly every major race on the calendar except for the Tour of Somerville. Samantha Schneider still very much a factor. We may not be mentioning her of recent, however, she is absolutely a rider that could do well here. So a lot of things could happen here today thanks to the depth of field that we've attracted to the 79th running. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise, bang their hands on those boards. We're looking at the final 1 lap, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. DNA Pro Cycling on the front. You've got protected riders there. You've got Corinne Lebecki on the train of DNA Pro Cycling, and they're riding for Riley McMullen of New Zealand.
Well, I'll tell you what, DNA back in control. Alexi Ramirez, the champion of Trinidad and Tobago, doing her best to try and box her way in on that DNA train. A very, very fast sprinter herself. She knows that DNA, they've got the numbers. They now have the timing dialed. They had 4 or 5 riders on the point to lead this out. They're going to have a little tailwind going down the back straight, and that is going to absolutely work to their advantage down to turn 3. The big question is, can they save one last rider out of turn 4 to escort McMullen all the way up the home straight? Headwind sprint, they ideally want to get her to about 100 meters.
Right, if you look down our course, we have 50, 100, 200. Those numbers indicate the meters to go to the finish line, and riders look at those numbers to try and time their sprint because they know exactly how far they can go. And as Bill was just talking about, the distance of their sprint is influenced by the wind conditions. A little bit ahead when you can see the flags here on the start-finish straight blowing into the faces of the riders. That means they have a headwind situation. But DNA Pro Cycling has the strength in numbers. They've shown the organization, but will Lebecki use that to her advantage as well? We're keeping an eye down towards the turn number 4. We're looking for the defender. Looks like we got 2 dropped riders potentially. We'll see if they can pull out of the way. They should be out of our way here, but try and finish strong because we have the best of the best finishing up behind them right now. We've got ourselves the best sprint possible happening right now. Our defender is there, our lead escort is there, and here come our pro women coming now. The 200 meters to go. We are fence to fence right now as our sprint is opening up. Lebecki onto the fence. Lebecki restarts the sprint. Lebecki is boxed in. Can Lebecki get there and to the line? Corinne Lebecki taking this final sprint and winning the 79th Tour of Somerville.
Well, I'll tell you what, she came in as an odds-on favorite for very good reason. two-time U.S. professional criterium champion, just won for the second time 2 weeks ago in Charleston, West Virginia. And she has been on a hot streak. She has won every race she has entered the last 3 times. So great job, Corinne Lebecki, your champion here today, the 79th running of the Tour of Somerville.
That was absolutely amazing. Lebecki had to restart her sprint because she got pushed up against the fence with about 125 meters to go. Two more finishing. There. All right, some of our pro men coming onto the course here. Thank you guys so much for being with us here today. We had ourselves an amazing pro women's race. We're seeing if we can get Lebecki back here for a little post-race interview, and then we're going to get our podium onto the street. We do our podiums real quick, real fast here at the Tour of Somerville, and we're going to put them in the street. Last year's champion, Danny Estevez for Legion of Los Angeles here on the starting grid today. Belizean national champion Corey Williams here today. Alec Cowan here. Ishmael here. Nice to see these guys. Land Rover Defender coming through. Thank you guys for being here and joining us and hanging out with us here at the 79th Tour of Somerville. We're going to get Corinne Lebecki and the rest of our podium here. Moments time.
I can write Camille's last name on my. Yeah, it is a long one.
Eddie Huntsman here this year.
You want to take the phone?
Otis Engel gonna give it a go in our men's pro race today. We're looking to see, I bet our pro women are enjoying the back straight rowdies out there, potentially taking a little hand up after the finale of their pro race today. Pro men gonna take a little initial lap before we get them gridded up for our pro men. We have 150 pro men, actually 157 last I counted, racing with us here today. So we got a nice big field racing with us today. Corinne Lebecki, your winner. Samantha Schneider from Miami Blazers in second, and Camille de Rochers La Femme of LA Sweat in third. Michaela McPherson in fourth, and Alexis Magner in fifth. Those are your overall results. Ty Magner right here. Good luck today, Ty. Here's the DCC Alpecin program coming on out to inspect the course before they go race. A lot of these riders from Europe or South America. Germany, Spain. There we go. Germany and Spain racing with us here in Somerville are some of our New Zealand riders joining us this year. Adam Meyerson joining us. Here comes our podium ladies. Corinne Lebecki, Samantha Schneider, and Camille de Roche's La Femme. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for your reigning U.S. National Champion, Corinne Lebecki. Corinne. Corinne Lebecki, ladies and gentlemen, right here in Somerville. This is the first time you've won this race, is that right?
That's correct. The last time I did this race, I think I got second or third.
That's right. So this year, it looked like it was quite an aggressive race from the start. What was the field dynamic? Did weather play a factor at all?
Yeah, I think the rain makes everyone a little nervous, so the first few laps were definitely fast. But it's just a hard course to get a break going with these conditions and a little bit windy also. So, and maybe a little tired from the last 2 days of racing. So yeah, it was hard to get a break going, but the race was still really fast and yeah, was pretty active.
And you got a few preems out there. Did that make the race a little more fun for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love preems. I like getting it going a little bit, putting a hammer down, and making a little coin.
Well, Somerville raised over $500 for you guys as a community, so big thanks to the town of Somerville. All these guys right here put in money to your pot. This is Corinne Lebecki. Now you're in the history books in Somerville, as well as so many other accolades. 74-time national champion and reigning U.S. national champion, Corinne Lebecki, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Corinne.
Thanks, Gabe, and thanks of everyone to Somerville and this whole weekend.
Amazing. We'll see Corinne momentarily on the podium. Samantha Schneider getting cleaned up by Dennis before he goes and races. Dennis pulling double duty as DS and athlete today. Sam, come on over. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Doing well. It was a lot of fun coming back here to Somerville. I haven't been here for 14 years, so it's really awesome to see how much this race has grown, and even in the weather, we've got such an amazing fan base around the course.
Yeah, we're really thrilled to have so many people joining us here today. So Samantha, you've won so many races over the years, and you were going up against Corinne there in the end. Walk us through that final lap for us, if you could.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We had Alexi, Julien, and Sky in there for us, or for the Miami Blazers, and the goal today was to get the win with me in the sprint, and the girls rode fantastic in the end, and I thought I was going to hold on to it, but Corinne's so fast right now, and obviously in the Stars and Stripes, she's the one to beat.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your podium finish, Samantha Schneider from West Isles, Wisconsin. Oh, tell us a little bit about your side job, by the way.
Oh, Sky and we own a bakery out back home in West Allis called the Bread Peddlers. So today the shop's closed, so we're able to race with no stress and no checking in. So.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us there, Samantha Schneider. All right. We're going to see if Camille's around, and then we're going to jump onto our podium. Camille, come on over real quick, and then we're going to jump right to our podium. Hi, Camille. How are you?
I'm so happy.
Camille, you're from Quebecois, is that right?
Yes, Quebecois in Montreal.
All right, very good. Well, welcome to Somerville. Have you raced here before?
No, it's my first time, and I'll definitely come back.
Oh, amazing. So talk to us a little bit about your experience in the race and then that final lap.
It was just wet, you know, so I was like, okay, we're doing this, and I followed the wheels I had to follow my teammate. We did an amazing job. That lead out was beautiful, and I stick to the plan, and it worked.
Amazing. And you guys picked up some crowd preems. Thank you to Somerville for all that money, raising a few $100s for our pro women. So are you going to bring the team back next year?
Absolutely.
All right, Camille de Roche's La Femme from LA Sweat. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you up on the podium.
Thank you.
All right, let's get our podium presentation underway here for our professional women. All right, we're going to come on over here. Donna, are you doing some presentations for us? Donna from RWJ Barnabas Health presenting our medals and jerseys here today for our professional women's event. In third place, racing for LA Sweat out of Montreal, please welcome Camille La Femme de Roche. from Wisconsin, racing for Miami Blazers, none other than Samantha Schneider. And taking the win here this year, your reigning U.S. National Champion, please welcome Corinne Lebecki. It's the smallest one we have, Corinne. Sorry about that. Extra smalls next year. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your podium from the 79th Tour Somerville. Corinne Lebecki, Samantha Schneider, and Camille de Roches La Femmes from LA Sweat. Thank you and congratulations, ladies. Oh, where's our champagne? Hey, Corinne, you any good at popping champagne? Yeah, let's do it one more time. Hey, Sam, Camille, and Corinne, you don't need the jersey. Let's do a champagne photo because Kit Carson's pretty good at that one, too. Champagne, champagne, Sam, Camille, come on back. Sam and Camille, come on back. We got champagne. Get up there. Here we go. Corinne's no stranger to champagne. Get that thing going. Get the drone. There we go. Corinne Lebecki showing us how it's done. Sharing in the spoils of their riches. Don't go anywhere. We'll be coming right along here with our men's race. We have a brief memorial presentation to honor the original winners of America's longest running bike race. All right, before we get ourselves going for our pro men going to take a little bit to get gridded up. Congratulations to all of our pro women. Amazing racing here today. And make sure the sailings are here. Oh, there's Joe and Dottie and Lindsay. I think we're all here. Are we here? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get underway for our professional men's race, We're going to call up our men into their positions, and then we are going to have Mr. Sailing say a few words before we get ourselves underway. We do not put anybody in pole position here because that position is exclusively reserved for the original winner of the Tour of Somerville, Mr. Furman Kluger. Please welcome to the number 2 spot, your New Zealand national champion, James Big Jim Gardner. James Big Jim Gardner. Oh. Please welcome to the second position on the grid, because we reserved that for our original champion of the Tour of Somerville. Please welcome James Big Jim Gardner, your New Zealand national champion.
Oh, we've got Big Jim in place. Our next call up, the Canadian National Criterium champion. This is Alex Cowan.
We skip the 4th place on the grid in honor of the second winner of the Tour of Somerville, who also passed away in World War II. So in 5th position here, your Belizean national champion, Corey Williams.
Our next call up, a former national champion, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the defending champion here on the streets of Somerville, Mr. Danny Estevez.
Second last year here at the Tour of Somerville. Please welcome from Work Hard, Be Humble, Caesar Martin. Row 4, yeah.
It is my pleasure to bring the next rider into the grid. He was 3rd last year, one of the hometown heroes in Somerville, Mr. Noah Granigan.
Winner of Athens Twilight Criterium this year and 4th place last year. Please welcome New Jersey native Thomas Gibbons.
Next into the grid, 5th place here last year. Please welcome Ismael Acosta.
6th place last year, also from Foundation, Alberto Ramos.
Next up, a former U.S. National Criterium champion, Mr. Ty Magner.
Your winner in Easton Twilight Criterium. Please welcome from Austin Outlaws, Lucas Burgoyne.
Next up, riding for the DCC team, a German national track champion. This is Moritz Augenstein.
Your Austrian national track champion. Please welcome Maximilian Schmidbauer.
Next up, the national British Derny champion, riding from Team Techers out of Great Britain. This is Alec Briggs.
In from Colombia, your Olympian and Pan Am track champion, Juan Arango. That, ladies and gentlemen, it fills your call-ups. Lucas Burgoyne, you are welcome to come on up to row number 5. Lucas Burgoyne, you can come on up to row number 5. With that, we're going to welcome the Sailings onto the course here momentarily. We're going to get this going real quick, you guys. Here at the Tour of Somerville, this is an event that is a few words before we get started.
Thank you, Gabe. Very few words, folks. Welcome to Somerville once again. I kind of miss saying that periodically, but welcome to Somerville. Dottie and I have spent 68 years, I did some adding up this morning, being involved in one way or another as riders, officials, announcers, and been a great run. And I'd like to thank the folks from Somerville. I'd like to thank the long tail, excuse me, folks, long tail Productions, Casey and Gabe, for bringing a fantastic show, making it a great run. The fans have always been the greatest, and in particular, my group from Guyana, guys, I see them down there. Okay, the Guyana boys. So once again, folks, thanks for being here. And, you know, you have to believe that this is almost the greatest day of the year for Dottie and I. Thank you again. Riders, have a real safe bike race. Have lots of fun. Be careful. And I envy each and every one of you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Joe Sailing. This is a memorial race in honor of Furman Kluger. So with that, we would like to play a memorial in honor of those who have served in our military and fallen for our country. The first and second winners of this very bike race lost their lives in World War II. And Lindsay Battaglino is going to play a rendition of Taps for us in honor of those who have fallen for our country. Lindsay Battaglino, ladies and gentlemen. And it wouldn't be a sporting event in America without first singing the national anthem of our country. If you'd please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem by my good friend, Mr. Herman Harris.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Herman Harris, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, so much. Gentlemen, final race instructions, and then we are racing here in Somerville.
All right, riders, you're going to race 45 laps. Lap cards are here at the finish line on the right-hand side. Up high, you will have free laps until 5 laps to go. If we're looking for breakage of equipment or involvement in a crash for a free lap, again, that's until 5 laps to go. Please do not pass your pace car. Your pace car is there for your safety. If there's a neutralization of the race, do not pass the pace car, please. In case of inclement weather, we may be shortening the race. Please be aware. We'll announce that and show you on the lap cards the shortening of the race. Please be aware that's a possibility. Any questions, riders? All right, you're going to go on the horn. Have fun and be safe.
Mike Harris, your Somerville Unity Bank manager, is starting the horn. There you go. Thank you, Mike Harris. Getting ourselves going. We are racing, you guys, 157 riders here in Somerville. What's it?
They just were like off the back.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Somerville, New Jersey for America's longest running bike race, originally held in 1940, right here on this very street. We are now ready to go and be part of history one more time. We have former champions, we have national champions, we have Olympians even in this race from around the world, and we cannot wait to see how each and every one of them races with us here today. We hope you're feeling ready. We hope you're excited for everything we're about to bring here today. Big thanks to Bicycling Magazine for helping stream this event from around the world. Bicycling Magazine, a big partner for our Longtail Productions events, and we greatly appreciate all of their great support. Big thanks to Unity Bank for being the presenting sponsor of America's longest running bike race. And of course, it wouldn't be Somerville without throwing some preems around. We raised over $500 for our women. Let's see if we can raise the same for our pro men here, down and around in the streets. Get that wallet ready. Here we go. $5 in the pot. Who else do we got? We got some money coming our way here for our pro men. And here comes our defender. I'll be right back. I do not want to get in the way of these guys because they're going to be going super fast.
All right, the end of lap number 1. Our riders rolling down the home straight, Somerville. This is what you've been waiting for all day. The pro men, the feature event here. 44 on the cards. And they are getting down to business. DCC Cycling and Techers Cycling Team, two of our big international squads, have come to play, and we are lined out here on Main Street, Somerville, the 79th running of the Memorial Kugler-Anderson to Tour of Somerville is underway.
Such an exciting day. I wait 364 days for today every single year because it is the best day of the year. This is my Christmas, and I hope it is for you guys too. Who else wants to support our athletes here today? There we go, $10 in the pot. Thank you guys very much. Here we go, 20 more bucks in the pot. Who else has got a few dollars for us here? Trevor's grabbing money too. We got some hands, we got some people throwing it in. There you go, thank you very much. We got the cash cam. Cash cam, there we go. All right, thank you guys very much. $5 here, $5 there, Ghana. This is for our pro men's bike race. Who do we got? Joe Sailing called you guys out. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you guys, thank you very much. All right. Who do we got? Oh, we got more money down here. Here we go, here we go. Thank you guys. We got the cash cam. Thank you guys very much. This is for our pro men. We're gonna divvy this up. Theo Kaler giving us those dollars. Joe Sailing giving us those dollars. Jack Symes, how you doing? Matt Tiefenbach, how you doing? Thank you guys for coming out. Here comes our Land Rover, our defender, Bill.
Our pace car coming into sight right now. Long line of riders that's already hitting the fan at the front of the race. They are rolling. Coming up Main Street here, just about 5 minutes ticked off the clock. DCC riders all over the front of this race. And I'll tell you what, those riders might have gotten the best warm-up. They actually rode here from the train station. They took the train here from wherever they were staying, rode here from the train station, dropped off their backpacks. We've got them covered up here by the finish line in some big plastic bags, so they are ready to go. They are ready to make some money here in downtown Somerville.
Bill, I got more people giving me dollars. Thank you, $5. Thank you very much. Anybody else for the cash cam? Oh, you guys, yeah, we're good. $2. I'll take it. $2 all day. I'll take it. Who else for the cash cam? Huh? Mike Dubé, thank you. $5 in to our community. Oh, USA Cycling. Thank you very much, $20. I appreciate it. Cash cam, you good? All right. We're doing pretty good here. Oh. Is that my card? We're going to run down to the team tents here as well. There we go. Thank you very much. A few more dollars into our cash cam. Hey, here we go. Cash cam. You got a few? You got a few? Here they come. Where are we going, Trev? Bill, here comes our bike race.
157 of the finest criterium riders from the U.S. and international waters. We've got riders from Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Great Britain, all across the globe, and they are in full cry right now coming down home straight. That is Team Techers out of Great Britain right now throwing down the gauntlet. We saw Mendez, the winner yesterday, riding for Rockland Devo, up in the mix, and it is a sea of riders from the front to the back right now. Big Mike Black bringing up the back of the group. We are only about 3 laps into this race, and it already looks absolutely brutal out there. The rain's starting to fall literally right as we got all the riders into the grid. We thought for a hot minute that we might be done with the weather, but Mother Nature said, hey, we're going to save the best for last. So our pro men being treated to some challenging conditions out here once again. 50 miles, this Kugler-Anderson Memorial Tour of Somerville. We've always held fast on that distance, and we are in for a real treat out here today. We've got our man Gabe Lloyd back on the home straight. He's got his pretzel bucket ready to go. Fill that thing up, Somerville. Don't make him stand out in the rain for no good reason.
Look at these guys, Tito's. You guys are making drinks here. Huh? We down. Ghana's got this party going. Huh? There we go. Phil Stanley, you in this mix? Huh? Yeah, Phil? That's what I'm saying, huh? That's what I'm saying. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, we're going to go down here. Bill, we're going to run down to the crosswalk. Oh, I'll take your money. Thank you.
All right, we are going to kick things off with our first preem of the day. We've got $50 on the line. $50, 5-0, $50, courtesy of Samba Cycling Team out of Brooklyn, New York. $50, riders, $50 on the line. Oh, we're going to have preems all day long here in Somerville. We've got to do something to keep these riders motivated out there in the rain, lest they think they're going to pull the pin, head back to their car and get dry, or we're going to throw an opportunity at them to make a little bit of money here in Somerville. Samba cycling team out of Brooklyn throwing us $50 to head off to give these riders. So the first rider across the line at the end of the lap going to make a little bit of pocket change.
Kings and Queens, put it in. Kings and Queens. CRCA Scratch Labs. Get out of here. Hey, I'm down here with Jenna Marie Foley. You guys know Jenna from NCL coverage. Jenna Foley, how you feeling today in Somerville?
We're feeling great, a little wet, but we're doing great.
Did you race it all today?
No, sir. Here to spectate, here to cheer.
You're here to cheer, hang out, enjoy the festivities. How is the KRT, QRT tent bringing the fun and love to Somerville today? You guys got some parties, got some drinks?
We've got the pizza, we've got the drinks, we've got the cheers, we've got the vibes.
All right, sounds good. Jenna Foley from NCL and everything else. Thank you for coming here. Jenna, thank you for being here.
Gabe,
thank you very much.
How's your bucket looking down there, man? Is it full yet?
Thank you.
I see fistfuls of cash going in that bucket. Gabe Lloyd making the rounds down there, getting wet for a worthy cause. Come on, folks, don't be shy. Pull out that pocket change. Pull out your credit card. We'll take whatever you got. It's all about the riders out here. Gabe Lloyd running back here. I don't know, man. There's a lot of dead air in that bucket yet. We're going to be back out to grab a little more money here in just a minute. We've got our pace car rolling through. We've got 40 laps to go. We've got our first preem winner of the day coming across the line, making $50 of cold, hard cash. That, of course, is Marcos Mendez, the man from Rockland Development Team, young Argentinian rider who has been lighting up the East Coast over the last couple of weeks and obviously on a good run of form, starting his day off with $50. Now, I got to imagine there's going to be a little bit more going into his wallet before the day is done. Gabe, what's your status down there? How you looking, man?
I'm looking okay. I think I've got about 100 in here so far, maybe a little bit more.
Well,
I'll take
we
small
need more
donations.
than that.
I think we do, yeah. We could take some small donations. The team tents were pretty wild. I couldn't get anything out of Jenna, but I did get something out of the QRT and KRT program, so thank you guys for that.
Don't make Gabe walk up and down Main Street in the rain for nothing. Reach into those pockets, folks. Let's put these riders first.
Anybody
Let's
else?
give them lots of money.
$5.
Let's make sure they get some great preems out there. There's a lot of room yet in that bucket for your generosity.
These guys are racing super hard, super fast, putting on a great show for all of us. It's why we looking to see who's going to put themselves into the history books. Who you got? Hey! $5 more. Thank you. I will take it. Thank you very, very much. Our riders appreciate it. We appreciate it. Pop's Bike Shop right here. Team Solution Cycles. What do you got? Oh, Hilltop. Thank you very much. Team Somerset and Hilltop. Team Somerset and Hilltop Bicycles. Bringing it back. Whew.
Here comes our pace car, things strung out. Kelly Benefit Strategies on the front. These riders are throwing it all down right now. That looked to me like it was Anton Muller from the Novo Nordisk Development Team on hand, one of the only UCI Level 2 professional teams in the United States. Great to see Danny Holt bringing the Novo crew here to Somerville. We saw them yesterday. They didn't have the best of luck in a playing field, but, well, that was really just a little opener for them to get ready for today. Today's the big show, the big dance. All the money, all the glory lies right here on the streets of Somerville, and Novo Nordisk Devo has come out to play. Well, we started with 45 laps on the board. We know that equals roughly 50 miles around our course here in Somerville. We've tweaked the course from time to time over the years, but it's generally anywhere from about 40 laps one year when we then went to that slightly longer course to about 44 or 45 laps, depending on where we've made turn number 1 up here at the top of Main Street. This year we started with 45, 50 miles of racing. We're already down into the 30s on the lap card, 38 laps to go. We're collecting money. We're going to be ringing this bell an awful lot for preems. I see singles. I see fives. I think I see a 20 in there as well. We've got some generous folks
50.
out the 50. Oh my.
A 50 from Team Star Trek. Oh, there it is. Some nice 20s. You guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, we got our defender coming on down. I think we got ourselves around at least, well, we're very close to 200 in total. So I'll be back around, Bill.
All right, here comes our defender, courtesy of Land Rover of Princeton, loaning us a vehicle for the day. Looks like maybe we've got a little breakaway attempt here on the front. Kelly Benefits driving the train along with Eddie Huntsman from the Butcher Box cycling team. So the first big move of the day. Leading the charge was Luke Elphinstone out of Grand Junction, Colorado on that U23 Kelly Benefit Strategies team. A little early in the race to get a significant breakaway going up there, but hey, you don't know until you try. Kelly Benefits, they had a lot of success in the junior race earlier today. Well, the U23's taking a page out of that playbook, and they are striking very early in our pro men's event. Hey, Gabe, I see Aubrey Gordon over here. He's waving some cash around. Our man from Guyana, Aubrey Gordon, says, I've got some cash I want to give away to the preem bucket.
All
We're
right,
to make
Daniel
sure we
Irwin.
get down here and collect some of his money.
Daniel Irwinowski going into the pits. Alejandro Guzman coming by. Where's our friends? Huh? Where's our friends? Where are we at, Bill?
Over here, we've got Aubrey Gordon. He's waving the dollar bills around.
Aubrey. Tens and 20s. They want you to know. Guyana supports the Tour of Somerville.
All
there it
years
is.
and
Thank you,
years.
guys. I love it. Oh, 10 more, 10 more. There we go. This side of the street is real good. Real good. Thank you guys so much. I think I'm feeling really good about this. I think we're going to start giving some of this money out. I might come back out. We still got, almost an hour. Here we go. $5. Thank you very much. Really appreciate all your support.
Hey, over there, Gabe, over there. To your left, we got a little more. Grab it. Hurry. Hurry, you got time. There we go. Don't get run over. That would be a buzzkill for everyone. Here comes our field. We've got a little bit of a breakaway coming off the front. Kelly Benefits. That is Luke Elphinstone in his second wheel. DCC in the mix. New Zealand Cycling Project in the mix as well. Josh Burnett, the big man driving the train at the front. So we've got the first breakaway of the day starting to move off the front. The man from New Zealand, Josh Burnett, starting to light that fire a little bit. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever spent time in New Zealand, this is kind of a nice spring day in New Zealand. So these guys are used to riding and racing in these conditions. And to be honest, they probably prefer this kind of weather. They are very much at home out here trying to make this race happen. One of our Team Techers riders having a little bit of a mechanical mishap, making his way over to the pit. That looked like Ben Tookner out of London, having some kind of problem. He's going to visit our friend Marzell in the pit, see if he can't fix his problem and take advantage of that free lap before heading back out on a course. Well, looks like we've got our preem bucket in good shape. We've handed it to our crew here. They're going to do a little counting of the dollars. We got to keep an eye on her, though. Make sure none of it goes into her pocket.
Yes, Sue.
Yes, Sue. We got our eye on you.
You know what, man? I love Somerville so much. It's so rowdy down there. It's so much fun. Those team tents are wild. Over here is super fun. Having fun on the sidewalk. Everybody's so supportive of the Tour of Somerville. It's so great to be here and be part of this amazing community. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to continue to play bikes here for 79 years.
Oh, man, what energy so far here in Somerville. It's been a great day, and it's just getting better and better. The weather not doing a single thing to dampen our spirits out here. The crowd coming out, staying out here. A hardy crew here in Somerville, and that's why we love to set up shop here every single Memorial Day, because you guys and girls know how to bring the party for us in town.
You really do. You guys are doing such an amazing job. We have so much good bike racing left here, though. They're bringing that move back thanks to DCC Alpecin as they're coming through the start-finish line with their big boys at the front, and Maximilian Schmidbauer joining forces with them as well. This field has a little bit of a gap in the middle of it, but these guys are going to bring it back together. A little bit of danglers in the rear as well. So this, I think the pace is pretty high, Bill, I think.
Yeah, you can start to see about 100 wheels back, some fractures in the group. And my old teammate, Guy Nellison, took a look over at me and shook his head just like, what am I doing out here? Poor life choices led me to riding down Main Street in the rain today.
Guy thought this was going to be a easy Somerville, huh? What did they used to say? They used to say Somerville is the hardest race to win, but the easiest race to finish.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's generally been the theme, but that might be turned upside down a little bit out here today.
Yeah, this is not easy. We worked really hard this year to bring the best of the best. Big thanks to all of the teams that have made the trip out to Somerville this year. Williams Racing Development with Justin Williams bringing out the Legion of Los Angeles, the Austin Outlaws, and Miami Blazers. Those three programs alone adding around 30 riders to our field and just absolutely showing us such a great atmosphere. Those guys love bike racing. Our man Alec Briggs with Techers coming over from London. Those boys really know how to race. And then our boys from Mito QNZ Cycling Project bringing 8 boys into this race. That's just what I'm remembering right now, but my goodness, this race is stacked. Kelly Benefits, Luke Elphingston is here.
Yeah, Luke Elphingston having a great ride. Not to, just to revisit the Williams racing squads that are here. One of the things I love about them being here is they have a very calculated schedule of races that they do. They go to high-profile races where there's a lot of energy, a lot of visibility, and just a lot of enthusiasm. We've been trying for years to get them to come here to Somerville. They finally saw the writing on the wall last year, and they realized this is a must-do event.
Absolutely. This is an event you could not miss on your calendar. Here we go, boys. 35 laps to go. 35 laps remaining. My man Kyle Murphy at the front for Legion of Los Angeles. Kyle and I go way back to our Red Hook Crit days, and he since then has gone on to win road national championships and then being part of some of the biggest and best programs in the world with rally cycling, and now part of the Williams racing family with Legion of Los Angeles. Kyle was telling me the other night in Easton, he was like, you know what, this weekend is so much fun. Like already, it was the first night of racing for him, and he was just like, the vibe in the East Coast on this weekend is unmatchable. It was so cool.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say next year it's probably going to get even bigger, because once the word gets out in our tight-knit racing community, people will follow that path of races. Friday night, they can race at the Valley Preferred Cycling Center in Trexlertown.
Yeah.
A lot of these riders very experienced on the track. Quick trip east, 20-minute drive over to Easton for Saturday's Easton Twilight Criterium.
Yeah.
Continue east to Plainfield, New Jersey for Sunday. And then you're minutes away from the Memorial Tour of Somerville on Monday. It doesn't get any better for a career bike racer than that. 4 races literally within about 75 minutes of each other.
Yeah, some of these guys actually stayed close enough to Plainsfield yesterday they could ride to that race. And we had other boys like the Meadow QNZ Cycling Project stayed in Easton for this weekend because they love the downtown there. And then we have some other riders staying right here in Somerville. Emily Flynn and her partner Corey and the LA Sweat team staying with Ron Chakowski and that whole family. And that's a cool thing about this whole environment here. We have such long-standing history that these families that open their doors to all of the riders from around the world to come here and be part of this community is what makes this place so special and this race so meaningful to all of the riders who come and participate. So thank you to Somerville and Easton and Plainfield for playing host to all of our riders and allowing us to do what we do.
Well, Gabe, we've got another preem on offer, 34 laps to go. Gentlemen, $50 preem, $50, $50 preem, $50 preem to the winner of the lap, $50 preem to the winner of the lap, $50 preem to the winner of the lap. This preem courtesy of the Hagen family. Since the 1960s, Memorial Day Somerville bike races have been a tradition for the Hagen family, and Don Hagen, their father, has never missed this race. You can always see him hanging out on the sidelines with his stopwatch, timing the breakaways, and just very into the event. Sadly, we lost Don in April of this year, so the family is very honored to award a $50 preem here for our pro men's race in Somerville in the memory of Mr. Don Hagen. So thank you to the Hagen family for remembering Don by offering a very generous preem for our pro men.
That's very sweet, very sweet. Thank you, you guys. Really appreciate it. Reminiscent of the Sailing family, also putting up some money in honor of Joe's late brother as well. So we love to see the family. Too much caffeine, man. We love to see all of the family support and how deep our history goes here in this community.
It's like the elf diet up here for the announcers, sugar and caffeine, and when you run out of one, you just go back to the other.
It's gonna keep me up till next year at this point.
I say as I sip from my tall coffee.
Hey, I want to remind everybody, we're talking a lot about history. Next year is our 80th anniversary. We are inviting every former winner in both the men's and women's pro races back to Somerville next year. If you can please spread the word and help bring back as many of our former winners as possible. We're going to do a ceremony to acknowledge every former winner that we can at the 80th running of this bike race. So please spread the word, whether you're here in town or listening on the Bicycling Magazine live stream. Please spread the word that we want to bring everybody home. Who's going to take home this $50, Bill?
$50 on the line, Marco Mendez. He's got 2 for 2 now on the preems. The Argentinian bringing a great run of form all across the Northeast for the past couple of weeks, taking out a big win at the Wilmington Grand Prix just a couple of weeks ago, and taking out a win yesterday in Plainfield, New Jersey. And wow, he looks like his sprint legs are pretty on point so far today. 2 preems, 2 wins for Mr. Mendez this afternoon.
Mendez was a big animator in Easton 2 nights ago. He went solo very late. He countered a move by Ty Magner and Sam Smith of Bikeworks PA, presented by Fred Beans, and Ty Magner, of course, racing for Legion of Los Angeles. Mendez, from Rockland Development Program, countered that split He counted that split and rode solo for to 1 to go.
Yeah, there was actually a point where we kind of expected that Mendez was going to run away with the race. He had a really nice gap, and we kind of noted his lap time stayed literally within about 2 seconds of each other. It was very, very consistent, and it was only because the field got so ramped up with their pace in the finale that they brought him back. Had we finished a half lap earlier, Mendez might have walked out with another victory there.
Yeah. I don't like to rain on somebody's parade where they're having a day, but Matthews Peters, who won in Easton in the junior race there, and also was on the podium here, and he did well here in Somerville today. He was actually just pulled from this race, and the only reason I'm highlighting, not to point him out, but is that this just represents this pace that this pro men's field is going, right? Like a rider who's winning races in his age group, that's a very competitive age group, not able to stay pace in the Pro 1 race today. I just want to show that there's a difference between our Pro 1 race and the other races that occur here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great correlation. Matt, a regular animator in a lot of other regional level senior pro events. Right now, that looks like it might be Elphinstone on the front once again. We try and identify that Kelly Benefit Strategies rider. Absolutely lighten things up. My bad. That is actually Ben Stokes out of Norwalk, Connecticut. So Ben Stokes on the move for the Kelly Benefit Strategies team, looking very strong up there. Their team director, Nima Ebrahamnejad, is up there in the pit. He's got radios wired to all his riders so they can communicate. He's barking out team orders, trying to keep the crew calm, trying to keep them collected, and trying to disperse some tactical insight to the riders. We're going to send Gabe Lloyd over to the neutral pit to try and get a word with some of our team directors that are over there hanging out, watching some of the riders, trying to disperse a little bit of advice. It'll help give us a little insight into maybe what the tactical approach is for some of these top riders today.
I'm down here with Nima Ebrahamnejad, the director of Kelly Benefit Cycling. He's talking to the radio real quick. Nima, what's your strategy here today as a team?
Well, one, thank you, Somerville. Thank you for the city for putting on this incredible race. And obviously, you know, we got a U23 team. Average age for our riders are 20 years old, 11 riders. And big goal here is to, one, stay out of trouble, make an impact in the race, and we've got a couple of cards to play if it comes down to the sprint, but we're going to be aggressive and see if we can get somebody in the move.
All right, so looking for a breakaway here today for Kelly Benefit Strategies, straight from Nima Ebrahamnejad, their director here in the pit.
Well, just like that, Kelly Benefit Strategies on the move right now. Big Ben Stokes once again on the front, trying to execute the team plan that Nima Ebrahamnejad just talked about, and he's got everybody all lined out right here. Marco Eladia bringing up the back of the bus. Marco, another very talented rider, former national champion, as you can see by the stars and stripes on the sleeve bands of his skin suit there. So Kelly Benefit getting a little insight into what those riders are thinking for today. And, you know, all these teams, they meet up at the team car, at the team tent before the race, maybe an hour before, relax, hydrate, and start to talk about what they think this race is gonna, on how they think this race is gonna unfold, how they wanna execute their plan, and what they see happening. So Kelly Benefit's just another one of those teams really working out that strategy, trying to figure out how to utilize their riders in the best way possible to land somebody on the podium or potentially take take the victory today. You know, and Kelly may be a little bit of an underdog in the race today. A lot of under 23 level riders, a lot of junior riders, so not necessarily the riders that we would think about winning a high-level Pro 1 event such as the Tour of Somerville. So they've got to be very cagey in what they do. They're going to be very aggressive. They're going to take a lot of risks out there as they try and put their team on the map up against some of these bigger squads like a DCC, the European-based program. A lot of Germans on that team, some Austrians on that team, many national champions on that team. Team Techers that we talked about, also a UK registered program. They brought Alex Briggs over here. Briggs winning, I believe, 3 or 4 races already this season. He's not yet won on US soil, but he's hoping to try and get that done out here today. And of course, all of our domestic-based teams like Automatic, presented by Abus, Legion of Los Angeles, Fred Beans cycling team, the Doylestown Bike Works squad, another one of our underdog teams based out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. They had a lot of riders in the front group animating things in Easton. I expect to talk a little more about them as this day progresses, but right now it is still Big Ben Stokes. Eddie Huntsman now from Butcher Box Cycling making a little bit of a move up the right-hand side of the field. So Butcher Box not with the biggest team here today, but Eddie Huntsman, an 8-time national champion on the track. He's got some great skills. He's ridden well here before, but he's going to have to be very cautious how he plays out his efforts as he's got no team to fall back on here today. So we're queuing up our preems here over at the finish line. Our officials keep showing me the list, getting nervous that we need to start ringing the bell because we've got so many preems to hand out. So next time the riders come through, we're going to kick the action off once again. This time, $75, courtesy of our friends at Somerset County Business Partnership. We've been giving out preems from those folks all day long. Pretty much all of our racers have had the opportunity to pick up a little cash from the Somerset County Business Partnership. They've been a very generous sponsor of our event this year, and I'll tell you what, without sponsors like them, Unity Bank, Land Rover of Princeton, and Somerset County, we simply wouldn't be able to have a race out here. So a big heartfelt thank you to all of them for their generosity. So we will be ringing that bell in just a couple of moments when the riders come by, and it's going to be one of many preem bells that you're going to hear for the rest of the race. Oh, there's the horn of the defender letting us know our field's in sight. And we've got the bell just about to start ringing here. Gentlemen, $75 preem, $75, $75 preem, $75 preem to the winner of the next lap, $75 to the winner of the next lap. Once again, courtesy of Somerset County Business Partnership. Our Clinton Honda follow vehicle bringing up the back of the bus there, making sure they stay behind the last rider on the course every time through until our USA Cycling crew deems certain riders out of contention. So Clinton Honda doing a great job turning the laps there today as our follow vehicle. We're finally down in the 20s on the lap card. Remember, we started with a 45, so we're slowly creeping up on the halfway point of our race. We got a little ways to go yet, another 6 laps or so till we get roughly to the halfway point. 50-mile bike race. Generally, we're floating around that hour and 50 timeline mark for the race. We'll see if anyone can go a little bit faster than that this year. Always fun when we get close to a record-breaking year here in Somerville. These wet conditions, I don't know that they necessarily lend themselves to any kind of record-breaking status, but you never know. These riders have been carrying a good head of speed all day long. A lot of teams been doing a great job contributing to that action. DCC Techers, they've been particularly active at the front of the group. Yesterday we saw the DCC crew in full effect at the Tour of Plainfield, the New Jersey State Criterium Championships, and they were lighting up that race all day long. They came up a little bit short in the finale of taking the win, but that's all right. It takes a lot of luck on top of fitness and skill to take the win in the bike race. So we've got our field in sight. Who's it gonna be? Lining their pockets with another $75. Oh, it's a big sprint. Oh, the familiar sight, Mr. Marco Mendez once again grabbing $75. Big Sam Smith, the tall rider from Doylestown Bike Works, on the heels of that, looking like he's going to dig in and make a little bit of an attack here as the riders are all strung out under the weight of that preem sprint. So Mendez now 3 for 3 in preems here today. Rockland Devo absolutely blowing this race up. They've only got a handful of riders out here, everyone again with specific roles. Mendez clearly was given the nod to go out there, use up some energy, burn some matches, and chase some preems to try and get those riders a little bit of spending money.
Bill, I'm out here in the crowd. It is awesome. The vibes are great. Everybody's really enjoying themselves. So it's really cool to be out here in Somerville today for the 79th running of the Tour of Somerville. We're going to continue to try and get some words from our team directors. I'm going to be heading on down to the team tent area here momentarily once we get our next lap through to get some more insight into the team approach to America's longest running bike race, the 50-mile Furman Kluger Memorial Tour of Somerville here in Somerville, New Jersey, presented by Unity Bank. Thank you to everybody for coming out and being part of an American classic in New Jersey.
Once again, here come our riders into sight. They're going to see 27 on the cards. Team Techers back on the front. We've got Foundation. We've got big James Gardner in the white skin suit, denoting his status as New Zealand National Criterium Champion. They're trying to get a little move going on there in the front. Gardner patting the Foundation rider on the back, letting him slot into second wheel. They're happy to have a little bit of help at the front end of the group as they work on trying to split things up here.
Bill, I am way down Main Street, way down. So I'm going to try to jump on the mic here momentarily with our teams. Holy smokes, Bill, you would not believe how far down Main Street we have to go to get to the end of the team tents. It is amazing how much support we have for this event here today. I love seeing this. I hope you guys do too. I am like at turn 4.
Well, I've just been handed another Preem envelope here. This one from our friends at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in Somerset. $75 more to throw at these pro men. Well, we still got a long list of Preems in the booklet up here. We still have all the crowd Preem to go through and sort out and figure out how we're going to dole out to these riders. Our defender rolling on through. Looks like things back together at the front of the field, maybe swelling a little bit, so the pace maybe backed off a little bit than prior laps. Kelly Benefit Strategies on the front. Rockland Devo now driving the train along with DCC. Looks like maybe one of our Legion riders up in that mix as well for the first time today. That looked like it might have been rider number 43 as I make my way through the sheet here. Kyle Murphy, a former U.S. professional road champion, making his way up into the mix. Murphy, not necessarily known as the fastest criterium rider out there, but a very strong rider and a very great team rider. He's going to be doing some work for some of his mates out there. Ty Magner, some of the other riders, trying to give them an opportunity to contest the finish. Of course, Danny Estevez, your defending champion here on the streets at Somerville, also rides for that Legion of a Los Angeles team, and I'm sure Danny would love for Kyle to do his best to keep the front end of that race intact so that he can float along, not spend a whole lot of energy, and be able to uncork that notorious finishing sprint that he's got.
That's the thing we need, right? Like, you know, we need to figure that part out. Can you hear me when I'm talking to the mic? All right, here we go. I'm with Justin Williams here. Justin, what's the strategy here today at the Tour of Somerville?
Well, Ty Magner is riding phenomenally. He's an extremely talented rider. So we put a lot of chips in his basket, but we let him also dictate what he wants to do. So if you see Ty moving off the front, that means he thinks it's going to be a breakaway, and the team will rally behind that. You have Richard Holick, who's also been riding incredibly strong, and Alec Cowan, our Canadian national champion, that they all have the strength to ride forward. So with the rain coming in and out, they're just like surfing toward the front and trying to generally find what the field wants to do. There's been a lot of breakaways this year, so we're just trying to place a couple guys in the breakaway if that gets off the front. Ideally, one of those guys being Ty Magner, but he's also going to race a bit conservatively. If it looks like it's going to be a field sprint, he's going to drift back to the field and kind of wait for it to come. We also have Danny Estevez, who's won last year, who's a fantastic sprinter. So I think between Danny and Ty, very good opportunity for us to win a sprint. I think between Danny, Ty, Alec, Richard, I mean, even Kyle being up there, it looks like Kyle's like kind of welding a bit. So maybe Kyle's on welding duty. Alec. And our ace in the hole.
Well, Danny is a returning champion, right? So do you put extra weight on that, or it sounds like you're putting weight on Ty?
No, yeah, Ty's more of the road captain, so Danny's job is to win the field sprint. So.
And what are the teams you're most concerned about today?
That's a good question. I think there's some extremely talented riders out here. On the at Easton, and then yesterday they were second, I think. So I think that they're going to be really good, but there's like a lot of really strong teams out here. So I think as far as the sprinters go, looking at my little my little brother will be good today. Blazers have an incredibly strong team. and he has Noah Granigan. So I think between those two, they'll probably be looking to like set each other up. They'll be really good. So overall, if it comes down to a field sprint, I think this sprint is pretty tricky. It's longer than it looks. Corey has a pretty good sprint. Noah's a hometown boy. I think they'll probably be trying to set it up for him. I think that gives the advantage to us because with Ty and Danny, I think Danny's probably the fastest guy in the race. And Ty's the best lead out you could possibly have. And so we'll see how it goes.
Right on. Joseph Williams, thank you so much for your time, my man. Great to see you, and thank you for coming to Somerville. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's great. Dude, I love your live feed the other day at Easton. Yeah? That was so good. Only for you. It was so good.
I'll try to do it more. I won't be able to do it more because it's the last one. Maybe I'll go live today, but.
All right, I'm down here with Joseph Williams. He's giving us a little bit of insight on what the Legion of Los Angeles was doing, and I'll say that the team area down here is so cool. We have so many enthusiastic people down here in our team area. Again, you should hear the party down at turn number 4. Scott Savory, former winner of the Tour of Somerville. Former winner of Tour of Somerville, how are you doing, my man?
Life is good.
All right.
I'm missing Somerville.
Oh man, we miss you. Where are you going to be racing next year?
Hope so.
Oh man, so next year's gonna be the 80th anniversary. You're a former winner of the event, so you'll get a call up because you're a former winner.
I definitely need to come race then.
That's right, my man. Well, how you feeling? I mean, Ghana down there has been absolutely representing of the front.
I think we have an amazing lineup this year. I think one of the best that we've seen in 10 years. It's great to witness this. I miss racing it. Works the focus now, but I'll be here next year.
Scott Savory, a former winner here in the Tour of Somerville. So good to see you, my man. Thank you for coming. Dude, thank you for being here. Scott Savory, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, so Scott Savory's going to be racing next year, apparently. We're bringing him back because every former winner gets a call up. Noah Granigan and I talked about this yesterday at Noah's meet and greet down at Pop's Bike Shop. Pop's Bike Shop, a great supporter of everything we do here at the Tour of Somerville. And Noah Granigan had the opportunity to meet some of his fans and sign some autographs. And Noah and I were talking about sort of the respective history here in Somerville. As you know, his grandfather, Joe Sailing, is the longtime steward of this event. We had him speak at the beginning of this race. And so it's nice to see Alexi Ramirez, our Trinidad and Tobago national champion, wandering through the crowds. Great to see Alexi racing with us. Now our men coming through. High rates of speed, looking for some of the big notable riders to be up near the front, as we're seeing, are actually hanging near the back. Thomas Gibbons, the winner of Athens Twilight, hanging at the back of the field, representing just how confident he might be in this race. Here in 23 to go on the counter. Look at these team tents. It is so amazing to see how many team tents we have this year. Whoop. We are doing such a great job. You guys are doing such a great job making Somerville as amazing as it is. Nothing is possible without all of your support here. We really do thank each and every one of you for taking time out and being part of our show here today for the 79th running. Big thanks to all of our sponsors, of course, for made today possible, like Unity Bank, RBJ Barn himself, Lane Ghana. Scott Savory's down there. He's enjoying himself. Tri-State Restaurant Group at the Community Zone down in turn number 1 here today. Oh man, we have so many cool things happening at the Tour of Somerville.
Did I hear you talking to Scott Savory out there? I haven't seen Scott in quite a while. Great to know he's still floating around here in Somerville. It was fun to be part of that race, watching Scott take a career highlight victory here a number of years ago. Scott, obviously a very successful realtor now in New York City. Part of the cycling community, the cycling fabric here of Somerville forever with his name in the history books. I think we've got more preems, Gabe. That's the rumor, is we've still got more preems, and Sue keeps pushing me like, we got to give these away. We got so much money. We got to hand it out. So, what do you say? You want to ring the bell, Sue? Why not? Let's ring the bell. Hand me an envelope. What are we talking about? We're going to go with $75. $75 preem, $75 preem, courtesy of Robert Wood Johnson, University Hospital of Somerset. $75 on the line. Well, once again, Robert Wood Johnson, University Hospital, Somerset, offering up some more cold hard cash for our pro riders here. 22 laps to go that time. Slowly creeping up on the 1 hour mark. We talked about it, the hour, or the record rather, right around an hour and 50 minutes, something like that for our 50-mile event. Not so sure we're going to get close to the record today, but we are actually into the second half of the race now. We started with 45 laps. We've now got 22 on the cards. We're only at 55 minutes of racing, so I don't know. A little simple math tells me we could be dangerously close to that record before the day is done.
With the caliber of field that we have here, I'm not surprised. We've had, when that record was broken, Connor Sally, when he was on Butcher Box, broke it. He was in a breakaway with Bobby Lee and Thomas Gibbons. 2019. Yeah. It was a hot day. It was really good conditions. Those boys were flying. It was just a breakaway, though. Now we got a full field of the best riders doing this tempo setting.
Yeah, and that was actually a late race breakaway, if I remember. Just around 12 to go, that move went up the road. So the race was so fast that year. A lot of little breakaways, but nothing could get any traction because the momentum of the field was just so much that it mowed everything down within a lap, maybe 2 laps of being out there. And that's what happens when the races are this fast. If there's any chance for the breakaway to stick, it's going to be a very late move because riders can only go so fast for so long out there. Really, probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes is about as much as they can handle at the speeds that they're going to need to carry.
I hear that. These guys are not machines. They are human beings. Look at this, Bill. We got ourselves a little bit of separation with Techers on the front. And who is that chasing him down? That is none other than one of the, I think the Ghana national champion, 146.
John Britton, I think it was.
Naho Cruz? I think it's 146. It's either Brighton John or Nahel Cruz. I think it's Nahel Cruz actually for the foundation team. We'll get a better idea on that when we come back through, but one of your national champs kits, Caribbean national champs kits, coming on through the start-finish line.
Was that a Guyana national championship?
That's what I was looking at. I thought it was a Guyana national
that's
championship.
That's what it looked like to me. That would almost make sense that maybe one of the Burrows has that title, a big cycling legacy down there. I believe Horace Burrows telling me a little earlier that his son had just recently won the national championships of Guyana. He was hoping to try and get him a call up, but you know, we've already got things sorted. We've got a very specific grid area here, so all those spots have been allocated. So great that we've got another national champion in the race. Obviously had to start a little farther back in the grid, but certainly hasn't had a negative impact on him here today as he's now plying his trade at the front of the group.
Yeah, so we're going to update our registration process for next year. We're going to actually make sure we ask everybody if they're a current national champion, because we missed one. Sorry about that. So if you're a national champion, you're going to get a call up next year at the Tour of Somerville. We're going to honor current national champions, and then we're going to honor returning champions of the Tour of Somerville at our call-ups next year. So spread the word, and of course spread the word that we're going to invite back every former national champion. I just invited back Scott Savory next year. So Scott's going to be racing. I saw him hanging out down the street there. Here comes our Defender pace vehicle, courtesy of Land Rover Princeton. Techers still off the front here, taking a bit of a flyer. Techers trying to push that pace here. And a bit of a chase. And some of the big teams, looks like Kyle Murphy is welding just as Justin Williams said he was. We were talking to Justin Williams just a few moments ago. He was telling us that Kyle Murphy's job today is to weld things shut. That's what Murphy is now doing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. That Kyle more suited to when the road goes up a little bit than necessarily these flat courses. So that's all right. That's how teams work. Everyone gets their opportunity for their specific style of course, and they brought Kyle here knowing that he'd be more than happy to pay back some of his teammates by doing his job to kind of do what we call being the welder, to just weld those gaps shut at the front of the race. And what happens is riders will attack pretty ferociously, try and get that gap. And how the welding works, Kyle will just get to the front of the field, won't really jump hard or really accelerate hard. He'll just get to the front and kind of gradually ramp that pace up until he rides himself up onto the back wheel of the rider in front of him, trying to be as smooth and subtle as possible, because it's all about letting his teammates rest, save energy. And we all know that bike racing, when it's a very staccato race, that by saying up and down pace, it's very, very challenging out there. You want to try and smooth it out as best as possible. So Kyle's going to do everything he can to ride as smoothly as he can, trying to close down those gaps on the front.
HDMI, just an HDMI.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 19 to go here, Bill. Everyone's really having a great time. I think our streets are starting to line out again. We're really looking forward to sort of the next second half of this race. And look at this, Bill. We're going to see another acceleration. We are seeing the whip crack on this race. And look at that foundation really driving the pace right now at the front of the field. Push, push, push. We're trying to show just how good this field can be. Mr. Ty Magner hanging out at the back. Mr. Daniel Holloway also hanging out at the back.
Good old Dan Holloway. He thought he was retired from bike racing for a couple years, but well, the lure of fame and riding around getting some footage via his GoPro has lured him back into the mix. I think we saw it last year, maybe. Was that the first time Daniel kind of came out with the GoPro?
At Gateway, he did a live stream, and unfortunately, the equipment doesn't work in the rain, so I'm holding his camera right now. It's because of the conditions we have here in Somerville today. We were unable to do it, but this camera is working. We are streaming live to YouTube, and they are listening to you and me as the commentary team on that feed for Bicycling Magazine. So like when you and I are talking, but also when we're talking to the team directors and all those moments, that is all being broadcast out of Bicycling Magazine's YouTube channel. So it's very cool for the Tour of Somerville to get that opportunity to do that. So thank you to Daniel Holloway for bringing his camera today, even though he could not race with it in the event.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this kind of new technology of these races getting to live stream. It's such a, it seems like such an easy concept, right? Just video content, put it on the internet and let everybody see it. But it's actually proved kind of challenging to get it right over the years. But kind of a simple format we've got going on here seems to work pretty well. Like you said, because of the rain, we can't have it out on Daniel's helmet as it would be on the bike. But that's all right. We're making do here underneath the finish line truss here on Main Street in Somerville, and trying to do the best we can, bringing everyone some live coverage of our race. We've surpassed the 1 hour mark of our race, 1 hour and 3 minutes, 18 laps to go on the cards. And well, here comes our defender into sight.
Field, stay left, please. We have riders coming in from the pit. Field, stay left, stay left. Luke Elphingston off the front right there. Field, stay left, please. Field, stay left. Riders coming in from the pit. Riders coming in from the pit. Please stay left. Riders coming in from the pit. There we go. All right, so fence to fence there as they came through the start-finish line, but the pace still very high when we're looking at 18 laps to go.
So, Gabe, we've got 4 preems left. We've got 1 double-digit preem and then 3 triple-digit preems to hand out to these riders. And, you know, as I keep saying, Sue is getting antsy over here. She's getting nervous.
Sue, you're getting antsy. You just want to give away money.
Where you been all my life, Sue? Here I am. Give me some money. Show me the money. Also, our decision now is, you know, we're on 18 laps to go, and we like to find some strategic moments to give away these preems. So I've been holding out on Sue a little bit. I've been like, nah, just hang tight, relax, take a sip of your coffee. We got this covered. But it might be time to start thinking about it a little bit.
Do we have sponsor preems and crowd preems to give away?
We have 1 more sponsor preem, and then we have 3 big crowd-pleasing.
All right, so 1 more sponsor preem and then 3 crowd preems to give away.
$100 from the crowd, and then $250 from the crowd, and then $400.
$400?
Crowd.
From the crowd. Thank you, Somerville. You guys have put up around $700 for this race here today. Give yourselves a round of applause. Nice job here, Somerville. Pro men going to be vying for about $700 extra on the prize list, thanks to all of you, in addition to our sponsor preems. So, all right, so we're going to do a big one at the end, it sounds like. Very exciting. Cannot wait for that to happen. And there we are. We're coming down now to 17 laps to go. Our defender coming by from Land Rover Princeton. And still Elphingston, still off the front right now.
Yeah, Luke Elphingston out of Colorado, still looking very strong coming up the middle of the field. You can read his body language, shoulders nice and smooth, mouth closed, so still riding well within himself off the front, trying to lure a few more riders into the mix. I think everybody knows they're not going to try and get away solo, especially with 17 laps to go. So Elphingston right now just trying to sit out there and draw the attention of some other riders. If he can get 2, 3, maybe 4 other teams to send up some representatives, well, then they might get a little traction. Then they might be able to work on establishing a gap. But right now, he's just kind of floating in his comfort zone off the front, trying to force some of the other riders to play into that Kelly benefit strategy team tactic for the day.
Yeah, but it doesn't work in the rain. And so I'm like, you have no contingency plan for that? So is there any disadvantage in me doing this? So, yeah.
You want to do the first one at 15 to go? 15 to go.
It's like sucks, you know? It's just not, it's not dynamic at all, you know? or I hope it is on the YouTubes.
The YouTube.
Isn't super big. It's interesting to see Ederer up at the front there because Ederer is actually the lead out for Granigan. And as Granigan being, this is his home race and a former winner, I think that their strategy is to race for Noah for today. So to see Ederer up there, maybe he's just trying to keep the pace up, maybe not interested in pushing it out to a full breakaway because safety is concerned for these guys today, and they know that this race is safer when it's faster. And so perhaps if they're like, hey, you know what, pace is starting to lag, let's send Ederer back up there and lift it one more time. That takes pressure off of Noah, because then he gets to sit in. He doesn't have to fight quite as hard because the washing machine effect doesn't take place quite as badly on the back straight. It'll still take place, but it might make it just a little bit easier for Noah, I think, in that critical sort of back straight section. That's a real challenge in this race.
Yeah, the back straight, always a big challenge. That tailwind kind of pushing riders. You've got to go so fast at the front to keep things single file out there. So riders are going to have to fight to sit in those top 15 or top 20 wheels. Once you get behind that, that's when it starts to kind of fan out, make that like pear shape kind of group in the field. And that's where it starts to get a little bit crazy back in that maybe 20th to 40th position. You get just on the front side of that, it's actually not too bad of a place to be. You've only got really a couple of wheels in front of you. You minimize the road spray so you're not troubled to see things on the road and pick out your line. Right now, we've got a sprint coming down the line. Who's going to grab $75? That is going to be Kelly Benefits going to the bank there, number 82. That is going to be Nate Cusack, one of our young men from Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Cusack attends UVM, University of Vermont. He was on the podium at Collegiate National Championships a few weeks ago in Albuquerque in the criterium as well. That was a really hard crit for those boys. Out in New Mexico, it was just wind blown, absolutely shattered. Only like 20 dudes even finished the race. So Cusack finishing on the podium, very commendable. Clearly got a lot of good form right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see youngsters like Nate Cusack. He's only a few years out of juniors, I think, maybe 2 years out of juniors.
Yeah.
Maybe 3,
He's
might be
young.
21.
Yeah.
At the most, I would think, at this point. And coming up and really firing on all cylinders here with that Kelly Benefit strategy squad. And that breakaway group still looking kind of strong. That gap still not necessarily big, and almost challenging to really call it a breakaway just yet, because they're really only a few seconds in front of the field, but they have stayed out there for another lap. The riders looking like they're unified in the front. Nobody, from our vantage point, nobody really sitting on up there. Everyone kind of taking a turn. Riders dropping back, nobody kind of stalling out, opening up the gap and refusing to pull. Those are all positive signs for that breakaway. But still, on the front of the main field, we saw some riders from New Zealand Cycling Project. They have a rider in the break, but they were on the front of the field kind of leading the chase. So either they're not necessarily happy with who they have in the break, which didn't quite get my eyes on who it was and whether they're a capable sprinter or not, or whether that New Zealand rider in the front group is just kind of covering that move and it's all part of their team plan. But a little interesting to see one rider from the same team in the break and also chasing the breakaway.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, there's so many different things that come into play in a race of this distance. You have to remember, Tour of Somerville is actually considered a long race now, right? A lot of the races that we do in this day and age would be over. Wow, big move here, big move, and look at this. You got, wow, big move. Big move. Who do we got in there, Bill? We got like some legions. I see Kyle Murphy in there, and the field is chasing Eddie Huntsman on the front, trying to bring this thing back. 8-time national champion Huntsman, very motivated. He does not want this race to get up the road in any way, shape, or form, because he knows that with Legion and Outlaws at the front of the field, it could be a very dangerous move that could definitely get some separation. With Kyle Murphy in there, they certainly have some opportunity to drive the pace in this field. Outlaws also, though, gaining a lot of confidence with Lucas Burgoyne getting the win in Easton the other day. So Outlaws now feeling a little bit more confidence coming in and sort of securing their first major win of their season. Now, Legion coming into this with, that's Richard Holek and Kyle Murphy. So Holek and Murphy representing, but they also have Eder Frere of Miami Blazers in that mix. So Williams Racing Development here looking to see who has made that move. So Eder Frere is in there for sure. Johnny Clark of Austin Outlaws.
Oh, the veteran of the scene, Johnny Clark. We also know Juan Arango. He got across the last lap. He made it across solo, the last guy to make contact.
Victor Perez Aleba from DCC has made that split. Marshall Irwood from Mito Q NZ Cycling Project. Marshall Irwood is a U23 national champion here from New Zealand.
Well, look at the real estate behind these riders right now. Big Johnny Clark taking a pull on the front, swinging off, looking over his right shoulder, and nothing but daylight. But look at this, Rockland Devo now on the move. They have taken almost all the preems in the first half of the race. Mendez desperately trying to get up there.
Mendez In the front, Alec Cowan trying to bring him back, or just to follow the move. Cowan racing for Legion of Los Angeles. He has 2 riders up in that move with Richard Holek and Kyle Murphy as well. Yeah, who else made this split here? I just want to see who number 15 is. Max Schmidbauer, your Austrian national team member, has made the move. Very capable. So a number of our riders that actually made the call-up list have now also put themselves into a massive split. I think Wanaronga, though, being in that is very, very dangerous. He will absolutely drive this. He knows that in order to improve his odds in the finale, he needs to get rid of riders like Ty Magner, Danny Estevez, and of course, Noah Granigan. Granigan not making that move. Now Mendez from Argentina for the Rockland Development Program. He is driving this because Mendez needs to keep this race together to save his race. It's better for Mendez to burn some matches now than it is for him to try and wait for the other big teams. Mendez does not have a lot of other teammates in here that can do that work for him. He has to be the one to do all that work himself. So he is proving that. We'll see what happens when we come around for the next go. We see our defender for Land Rover Princeton, and I hear from Race Communications that they're coming back together. Now look at that, the gap has dropped, but they are still separated at the front. Johnny Clark in the front, and look at that, Colin Fitzgerald of Bike Works, presented by Fred Beans. Eddie Huntsman is there, but Sam Smith is not pulling through because Colin is in the break. Huntsman is motivated to bring this back. Bike Works is not motivated. Bike Works knows that they just want a rider in there. They don't really care which rider. They just want a rider to get moved on up. Fitzgerald putting himself into that move. Cusack of Cali Benefit Strategies is in that move. Cesar Marte made the move. Junior Marte made the move. I see Irwood in here, though. Irwood from New Zealand, U23 National Road Champion in New Zealand.
Yeah, Irwood kind of flying under the radar here in the U.S. I think he was here last year with those guys, but kind of an unheralded rider. But as you mentioned, the U23 national champion down there, so obviously a very powerful rider. Not sure when you're kind of a national road champ or a national time trial champ, your sprinting ability might come into question just a little bit. So we're not sure if Irwood is as fast as some of the other riders on his team.
Joe Holt of Techers, that's an interesting one. Holt is sometimes, he and Alec Briggs can trade off lead-out responsibilities to work for each other. Holt being in there, very cagey rider from London, England, who flew over just for this weekend. Right? Talk about that. You think it's a long drive from Washington, D.C. to get here? Try getting on an airplane for 7 hours from London, England to race Tour Somerville. That's a big commitment, and Holt wants to make good on it.
Yeah, that's a very big commitment. When you put that kind of time and resource into your racing schedule, you want to come as good as you can on the day. So Holt, very, very motivated to try and pull a result. Eder Frere, another one of our top riders in the mix. A very, very good finisher he is. We've also got Johnny Clark, but we've also got a bell. We're going to ring the bell. $100. $100 to the winner of the lap. $100 to the winner of the lap, courtesy of our friends at Unity Bank.
Unity Bank stepping up one more time. $100 for the winner of the next lap. $100 for the winner of the next lap. Thank you to Unity Bank for, again, putting some fuel on this fire. Our breakaway is now neutralized, so even though Bill and I got really excited about that, the caliber of this field has shown us that that did not matter. And that's really, really important to understand, because in years past, recently, that caliber of field, that would have stuck it. Even in 22, when George Jackson won, and we had two best buddies in there. We had Henry Neff from Kelly Benefits in that mix at the time. We saw a number of other very capable riders. That move stuck. Went early, separated away, gone. That move just now had all the horsepower, if not more, and this field brought it back. That is telltale.
Yeah, that field mowed it down, absolutely. We're writing down names because we were certain this is the move, right? 13 to go. They had like an 8-second gap. We're like, yeah, this has to be the move. It's been so fast, so consistent for the better part of the race that inevitably it's going to snap, right? When it snaps, and that gap just blows out.
Yeah.
And that had all the makings of that exact move. And little surprised it did come back. But, you know, the other thing that happens when you've got a group that big, inevitably you've got some passengers. You've got some people that want to drive the bus, and you've got some people that want the free ride at the back of the bus. And that can always upset the rhythm, especially if you've got a rider of very good quality that says, you know what, I'm not really ready to commit. This isn't the ratio I like to work with, and I'm going to sit on. That will take the rhythm out of the breakaway in a split second.
Yeah, 100%. You would need to fully commit to a move for at least 3 laps here in Somerville, which is actually a very long effort. Looking at 9 to go. We're in single digits, boys. Single digits, boys. Single digits, and Mito QNZ is pushing it. Irwood getting that $100. Marshall Irwood from Mito QNZ Cycling Project getting the $100. Irwood from Mito QNZ Cycling Project getting $100 US. That's like 1,000 kangaroo pelts down in New Zealand. So he is going to be very happy with that return on his plane trip investment. We talked about flying here from London, England is a big commitment. You know how far away New Zealand is? It's 10,000 kilometers away. That's how far it is. It is 22 hours on an airplane. You didn't even know airplanes could fly that long. They do. They come from New Zealand to America forever. You can watch like 17 movies on the flight from here to New Zealand.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've done that flight, and you go through a lot of movies because you're going from, if you're on the South Island, you got to take the flight up to the North Island. Then you got to get another one into probably San Francisco, and then another one over to the East Coast. So it's a lot of travel time. You're going to get a little bored watching pretty much every movie under the sun.
Yeah, you better have your iPad loaded up before you get there. This is very exciting, you guys. We're very excited for the finale here. Looking at 8 to go. Oh boy, I see some outlaws headed into the pit over there. Look. We're making some plans here. Making plans, boys. Get ready for it. Looking at 8 laps to go. Single digits here, Somerville. Make some noise. Bring these boys home. They're going fast. 8 laps to go, boys. 8 laps to go here in Somerville. Our course record is 1 hour and 50, 1 or 2 minutes? Somewhere in there. Connor Sally knows. He said it back in 2019. 8 to go right now. We might be pushing that record.
Yeah, we're not quite at an hour and a half right now, just topping an hour and 28 minutes. 8 laps to go. That's about 18 minutes maybe of racing, 19 minutes of racing left. So we are going to be dangerously close to that course record here today if we get under that 1 hour and 50 minute mark. These riders, they've been absolutely on the gas all day, and wouldn't that be phenomenal if the record goes down on a day like today? We started under some very heavy rain. It didn't let up until maybe about 10, 12 laps ago. The road's still a little damp, making things a little tricky, so that would be one heck of a feat.
I'm hearing on race radio, we had riders go down in turn number 1. Still green flag situation, but it means that we're going to have riders coming into the pit here momentarily. So we're going to try to see what we can see over there. Riders headed to the pit.
We are going to send our man Gabe Lloyd back down to the pit to get a little more video coverage. We've got some riders had a mishap in turn number 1 the last time through, so expect some riders to make their way back into the race here. So we're going to ask the field, try and stay to the left, riders, stay to the left. We might have some riders coming out of the pit. 7 laps to go. The Kelly benefit train getting organized on the front right now. Those young men, the U23 team, they're saying, step aside, pros, we got this one. 7 laps to go. We're going to try and make it happen. Well, we've got some of our staff doing a little deep dive into the record books for us. We're going to try and figure out exactly what our course record is here today. We know it was set back in 2019 by Connor Sally. We're trying to come up with exactly what that time was because we feel like we might be dangerously close as we see some riders making their way into the pit. Guy Nellison, one of our Doylestown Bike Works riders, making his way into the pit there. Guy, a longtime veteran of this race, and a lot of riders now making their way up the home straight here, having been involved in that mishap. And I'll tell you what, their timing couldn't be better. That free lap is going to go away at 5 laps to go. So we've got 7 on the cards. They are sneaking in there just in time to grab that free lap. Adam Meyerson, a little bit of a bloody right elbow there. One of the perennial favorites here, was 12th last year, and he's been second on the podium here, I believe, back in about 2016. He's going to get himself repaired, try and get back into the mix here.
We got riders down in the pit here, Bill. A lot of them. I think there was a crash. I heard over race radio we had riders down in turn 1 and on the middle of the back straight. So we're seeing riders coming in from a few different spots right now. Pit is still open, so riders can come in for support. Just looking at the number at Meyerson going right up to the front. He knows how this game is played. We're also seeing our race directors on race radio trying to strategize here and make sure that everybody is on the same program. We are looking at a re-entry here, Bill. Where are we at? Riders in the pit, they're about to put themselves in. You ready to go?
Ready to go here.
Ready to go. 6 to go. Oh, this is a tough release. Oh my gosh. That is a tough release. Wow, brutal release here. These boys are chasing. They were not, that's a brutal release. So the boys are looking at the whole field go by. And then they had to be released, Bill, which means that they had to wait for the entire field to pass before they were allowed back into the race. That is very tough.
Our lap counter right now says 6 to go here on the home straight. That group of riders successfully getting back into the race. Not sure exactly what happened, but it was a lot of riders making their way toward the pit that time.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in this race right now. Oh my goodness, we're racing Mother Nature here as much as we are racing each other. And so we are going to be looking at 5 laps to go, 5 laps remaining in this historic race. We've had a great race so far. Roads are drying out. Look at this. We got a crowd preem coming up, you guys. Crowd preem from Sue. Sue's ready to ring this bell. Sue's ready for the bell. $250, gentlemen. Preem on the next lap. Preem on the next lap. $250. $250 for the winner of the next lap. $250 for the winner of the next lap.
And I'll tell you what, Gabe, that's not a gift certificate. That envelope, Sue handed me that envelope to hang on to, and it is thick. It is filled with dollar bills. So it is cold, hard cash, courtesy of all of our fine fans here on Main Street in Somerville. And, you know, we still have another one that we're going to be ringing. That envelope's a little thicker yet.
I'm excited for that other one that's about to come out. Look at all these guys who have come out to the Tour of Somerville to spectate and show their support. They've chipped into our crowd preem bucket, and right now we're giving away $250 to the field for their generosity. Our field showing us what it's got. We've got the teams all together. This race is, I think, Bill, this race is going to come down to a field sprint. What do you think? We got a little spitty action, though. Spittiness going to affect us at all?
Yeah, the rain could change the dynamic. You could see the road was actually starting to dry out a little bit. And, well, now everything's going to get just damp enough to get a little more sketchy. And we all know from the bike racing world, the most dangerous part of the rainy weather is just when it starts. The road just starts to get damp. The oil just starts to rise to the surface. That's when it's at its most slippery condition. So at this point, the riders would probably rather see the rain come down a little bit heavier, wash that layer of oil back off the road, and give them a little bit of a safer condition here to contest the finale, because as fast as we've been going so far, we know it's going to get faster. The last 2-3 laps, probably the fastest laps of the race yet to come.
It's definitely going to wind up. Now that you have these teams coming back together, it puts riders like Noah Granigan back into the mix and with a strong team. But we saw the other day, Lucas Burgoyne is very motivated with a lot of confidence. Also remember, though, Danny Estevez is in this race. Last year's champion. He has Ty Magner in the race. Magner could become a pivotal lead out. Here we go. Sam Smith for Bikeworks PA driving it with 4 laps to go, and Bikeworks presented by Fred Beans is now driving this pace at the front. The underdogs are trying to show us what it's like to race here on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if there was a most aggressive rider award Easton Saturday night at the Twilight Crit, it may well have gone to Sam Smith. We talked about him so much over the course of that 75-minute race. race, constantly on the attack. And at one point, he and Ty Magner were away for about 6 or 7 laps in a move that was very, very promising. Sam Smith just coming off a couple of top 15 finishes at the under-23 National Championships in Charleston, West Virginia. He got 10th in the U23 criterium, 14th in the road race, and he's been on a great run of form the last couple weeks. And I don't know if you noticed, Gabe, but second wheel in the field was his teammate. It was Sean Godish out of Easton, PA, so that could be a little tactic. The two of them at the front, Sam with the big acceleration for the preem, maybe trying to go off the front, and then Godish kind of leading the rest of the group through turn number 1, maybe backing off the pedals a little bit to try and give Sam a little bit of a head start here in the finale. We're close to each other, it's easier.
Both of us.
Yeah. See you later, Trevor. Good talk.
3.
Yep, 400. No, dude, I don't care where we are. As long as we can see it, it makes more sense for us to stay here.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 3 laps to go. Preem on the next lap, gentlemen. Preem on the next lap. A crowd preem for $400. A $400 crowd preem coming up next. $400 crowd preem coming right up. $400 crowd preem. $400 crowd preem for the winner of the next lap.
Well, look like Miami and Legion taking over control at the front right now. The all-black jerseys up there. I assume Austin Outlaws in the mix as well. Lucas Burgoyne, one of the Austin riders, taking a great win in Easton at that Twilight Criterium, coming seemingly out of nowhere in the last 50 meters, popping ahead of Noah Granigan out there on Northampton Street. And he would love to double down here again. That young man out of Austin, Texas, a former member of the U.S. Junior National Team. He spent a couple years racing over in France, winning some Coupe de France races, some kind of mid-level UCI events. A very, very good field sprinter. This is kind of the first time he's been back on U.S. soil for an extended period of time, and he's got his criterium legs back, and he's been a little bit of an underdog the last couple of races, but Easton showed he's hit his form at the right time.
And that was when it matters. This is America's longest running bike race, putting your name into the history books this year. You will be joining Olympians and world champions in the history books if you are crowned the champion in Somerville this year. 79th edition presented by Unity Bank. Remember, Unity Bank going to come back and present for the 80th edition next year. Final reminder that we are going to invite every past winner into our winner's circle next year. So if you know a former champion of the Tour of Somerville, please invite them back for our 80th edition next year, presented by Unity Bank. Here comes our defender, courtesy of Land Rover Princeton, and we're going to be looking at 2 laps to go and the winner of a $400 preem.
This is the last chance for the preem hunters to line their pocket, and then the field sprinters are going to take over the reins at the front of the field. We've seen Mendez pick up some preem, Sam Smith picking up that last $250. The field literally curb to curb right now. Lead out starting to fight with preem hunters as we get down to 2 laps to go. Riders, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 laps to go.
2 laps remaining now. The lead outs are coming into full effect, and riders are looking to see where they can position themselves for this rager of a finale. Riders are still all fence to fence at this point in time, which means that we are just seeing the beginning of the lead out. We are 2.2 miles from the finish, so that's still a pretty long way in a criterium.
Yeah, especially, again, these high speeds, right? We talked about it earlier. You can only go so fast for so long. 2 miles, well, you figure if they're going to be doing about 30, 31 miles an hour, we're kind of getting down to the last 4 odd minutes of our race right now. These riders, they're finely tuned machines. They're going to keep that pace up as high as they can. Dennis Ramirez from the Miami Blazers winning that final preem of the day. So Dennis, as a part of that lead out, grabbing $400, swinging off and letting the rest of his team get down to business. They're going to do everything they can to put their riders in the best possible spot to win this race today. But they're going to be doing battle with Ty Magner from Legion of Los Angeles, and of course, last year's winner, Danny Estevez. Danny, a member of the Miami Blazers team last year. He moved over to Legion for this year. That's those two teams, both owned by Williams Racing. They did a little bit of reshuffling with their rosters over the winter. So now Danny Estevez, last year's winner, a member of the Legion of Los Angeles squad. And we haven't talked about Danny all day long. He's been doing a great job hiding out, not chasing preems, saving every bit of energy.
Same with Ty. We haven't talked very much about Ty Magner yet, so Ty could potentially be saving himself to work for Danny, or vice versa. These guys are so good that they can make that call on the road. Somerville, I'm going to need you guys to all make a ton of noise right now, though. We are coming into the final lap of this bike race, and they need to know that you are here to cheer them on. We are looking at 1 lap to go! 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go!
Oh, Teckers is all over the front right now. Teckers is taking over the team out of the UK. They are trying to set up their man, Alec Briggs, and look at the absolute destruction that they have done. Riders dropping off the pace here on the final lap of our race here in Somerville. Lead out duty done and dusted. Now they just cross their fingers and hope their sprinters are in the ideal position.
All that coming through right now. He's done a fantastic job this entire day. Yes, 1 to go. This is it. 1 lap to go. This is it. Coming into the final bell. You got to be in position if you want to be vying for the race win here in Somerville. Super excited. Bill, hot take. Who's your winner?
I'm going to go with the emotional pick. I'm good friends with Danny for a long time. He won last year. He had a rough spring season, but I think he's back on his feet. He hasn't shown himself a lot, but I think his training is in the right place. So I'm going to pick Danny Estevez as a repeat winner here on the streets of Somerville.
All right, you're getting that one. I'm going with hometown boy, Noah Granigan. Noah Granigan on my call for Miami Blazers. Hometown boy, he's got his family here today trying to represent and put out a second historic win in Somerville. He's got the fitness. He showed that the other night on a challenging sprint. He just started it a little bit too early. So let's see if he can figure that timing out on his home streets in New Jersey. Here we go, Somerville. We see our defender coming down the line, and this is the final call. Our checkered flag is now out. We are going to be crowning another winner here in Somerville today. We are galloping to the line with the best of the best as we come to the final finish. Who's it going to be with 100 meters to go on the outside with that white helmet? And it's going to be Cesar Marte. Cesar Marte of Work Hard, Be Humble. Cesar Marte of Work Hard, Be Humble takes the 79th Tour of Somerville.
Well, I'll tell you what, he pulled one over on all of us. We talked a little bit about Cesar early in the race, but we haven't talked about him since he's hidden out. He was not part of that big break that looked like they might get some traction on 12 to go. And Cesar Marte running away with it, keeping the trend of New York City area winners alive and well here on the streets of Somerville. Somerville.
Amazing. Marte second here last year. This year, he got that sprint dialed. It was absolutely perfect. And Marte is now in the history books for the first time in his career. And he is ecstatic. We cannot wait to get a few words with him here on the start-finish line. And thank you guys so much for being here and cheering us on. Cesar Marte is your winner here today at the 79th Tour of Somerville presented by Unity Bank. Thank you guys for coming out. I'll find out.
We don't know yet. Cesar got the win. That looks fun, Danny. What happened to people learn how to ride a bike? Yeah, people can't corner to drive, let alone in this, dude. It's insane. What do you need?
Snips.
I have no idea. Don't know. What do you need? Snip.
Fuck me, come on.
You got snips for her?
Thank you to Land Rover Princeton for all of your support here. Thank you to RWJ Barnabas Health for your support. Unity Bank, the Califer Company of Businesses with Land Rover Princeton, Clinton Honda, and the Somerset Patriots. Visit Somerset County and the Somerset County Business Partnership Tri-State Restaurant Group for your community zone today. And of course, Pop's Bike Shop for the Pop's Bike Shop pit today. See. Work Hard, Be Humble is about to break this fence down here in order to celebrate with their boy. We're going to have our podium presentation momentarily. Once we set ourselves up here on the finish straight, you will be welcome to come on to the race course to see the podium. So once we have it set, I'll let you know, then you're welcome to come on to the race course for the podium presentation. We're going to get the top three. Make sure we get all top three here. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it, thank you. All right, we're gonna get our course set here, bring this around, create a little backdrop here with our generous sponsors, Unity Bank, RWJ Barnabas Health, Wolfgangs, all part of our backdrop here, with our Caliver companies and everything else. Neiman needs to get through. Our podium will be here, and then we're going to allow others to come onto the street for the celebration. So in the back by the pit, you're welcome to come onto the street to get your view of the podium back there. Come on into the street if you're behind the podium. You're welcome to come onto the street if you're behind the podium right now. Please just stay behind the barricades there. On Front Straight, we're bringing up our winners, and then you guys can come in and be part of our podium presentation as well. Cesar Marte, our champion. Your crowd awaits. Your Road Kings alumni. Alec Briggs with some treats. Cesar Marte, ladies and gentlemen, your champion of Somerville! Cesar Marte, congratulations on your race win today. How are you feeling right now?
I'm pretty good. 2 years, second place. Right now, I got it.
You got it. You got it. So good. You are in the history books, Cesar. Congratulations, riding solo here today. Were you concerned at all or worried about your race outcome?
So, I say every year, every lap, because I ride solo, and sorry.
It's okay. Take your time. You just won the biggest bike race in America.
Yeah, I love the race in America, but I will support the sprint. My friend, he helped me sometime, and I appreciate that, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Cesar Marte. Congratulations, Cesar Marte, for Work Hard, Be Humble. From the Dominican Republic, that's right. All of his friends are here. We have our podium finishers here. You're welcome to come on down into the street if you'd like. Cesar Marte, Alec Briggs, and Juan Pablo Zapata from DCC. Please come on down to the podium. Alec Briggs. Alec Briggs, please come on down. Juan Pablo Zapata of DCC. There you are. All right, so we're just waiting on Alec Briggs. There he is. Hey. Look at this crowd.
I think Cesar's drinking just about anything he can get his hands on right now, celebrating the big win.
All right, we're wrangling Alec Briggs. Thank you, Laura Reppert of Bucks County Classic, a classic in Pennsylvania in September. Mike from Unity Bank, how are you feeling right now? You just helped put on one of American classic races.
Wonderful, what a great experience. It's my first time.
Your first time in Somerville, my goodness. What's your initial takeaway?
My initial takeaway is I'll be back next year.
Oh, we love to hear it. Unity Bank, our presenting sponsor. Donna here from RWJ.
So, thank you so much. We'll be back next year. 80, yes.
80th anniversary next year. This is Donna from RWJ Barnabas. Thank you for all of your support here this year as well. We're going to be getting our podium underway here momentarily. Thank you guys for all of your patience and for all of your support. You guys were great today. You handed up nearly $1,500 in crowd preems overall. So that's quite the accomplishment. Give yourselves all a nice round of applause for your own support. $1,500 back into the athletes' pockets here today through crowd preems. Thank you guys so much for all of that. And then we're going to get Alec down here, I think, and then we'll get our podium underway. There he is. He just had to get cleaned up. Alec Briggs, ladies and gentlemen. Alec, you're from London, England, racing here in Somerville, New Jersey. What's this atmosphere like for you right now?
I can't tell you how good the atmosphere is. You guys really put on a crit show, so thank you for having us.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to have you here, my man. So walk us through your race a little bit. What was the initial feel of it, and then walk us through that final lap.
My initial feel was we're really going to do this for almost 2 hours. And yeah, luckily time went by. The crowd's really cool, so it uplifts you. And it's just attack after attack after attack. Rob Scott was on it all day, and I was just sitting back watching him do it. And all of a sudden, there's 1 lap to go, and you're like, here comes the chaos, and it's just as mad as you think it is.
How is the positioning out there for you in this American race versus your British races?
Oh, man, I can't tell you how just aggressive it is. I think because the roads are so wide and the quality of field is so good, just the battle for the top spot is really, really tough, and you really got to have your wits about you, get your elbows out. I got to say, I really like it. It's good fun.
All right, man. Well, I hope we see you out here next year, my man. Alec Briggs from London, England of Techers. Let's hear it for Alec, our second place finisher this year. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor and privilege to begin our podium presentation here for the 79th Tour of Somerville presented by Unity Bank. Racing for DCC, please welcome Juan Pablo Zapata. In second, racing for Techers, please welcome Alec Briggs. Mike Harris presenting the medals today from Unity Bank. And for Work Hard, Be Humble, the one, the only, Cesar Marte! Your champion in Somerville this year. He's got his Road King family here as well, cheering him on, looking very good. In his winner's jersey, Mike Harris from Unity Bank presenting the winner's jersey and the medals. Congratulations, gentlemen. Cesar Marte is your winner. Alec Briggs in second, and Juan Pablo Zapata in third. We got the champagne, you guys. Get yourselves ready. This is the fun part. This is not his first time. He knows how to do it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there we are. Congratulations. And with that, we draw to a close the 79th Tour of Somerville presented by Unity Bank. Let's hear it one more time for our podium here in Somerville, New Jersey. This is our men's podium paired with our pro women. Then with that, I'd like to thank each and every one of our sponsors for being here today. Unity Bank, RWJ, Barnabas Health, the Califer families, and of course, Visit Somerset County and the Somerset Visitors Bureau and business partnerships. On behalf of our staff, our crew, and everybody who has made today possible, I'd like to thank you all, and I invite you back for the 80th edition of America's longest running bike race next year here in Somerville, New Jersey. My name is Gabe Lloyd, and thank you for coming in, and we'll see you next year in Somerville, New Jersey.